Happy Wednesday, everybody, wherever you are, however you may be listening. Thanks for making us part of your day. It is another beautiful day, the most beautiful day in Mesa, Arizona, and we welcome you all here today on this glorious morning for another episode of RTP Talks. Jen, good morning. How are you?
Super. You have to update the gift goal total.
I don't have to
No,
do
that's your
anything.
favorite. I know that's your favorite number and all, but
What is it?
to be
69
updated.
still from yesterday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me get this started. Sorry, guys. I'm a little scatterbrained today. I was getting through a lot of stuff this morning. Just a lot of complex emotions about Jen, her relationships, and it's been difficult for me to accept that we're being replaced. And but I'll be all right.
Yeah, no one's being replaced.
Oh, okay, good. So we'll see you tonight at movie night.
No.
Oh, you won't be at movie night. You must have a parent-teacher conference.
Sure, we'll go with that one.
Oh, wait, no, school's not in. It can't be parent-teacher conference. Book club, Jen?
Sure.
What book are you reading?
Inappropriate ones.
Which ones? What's the title of the book?
I'm not telling you.
The Real Great Replacement? That's right. We're being replaced. Look at that cute turtle. You're not going to tell us about it?
There's some. Well, I mentioned that my roster is no longer a roster.
This sounds suspicious. This sounds suspiciously not like a book club, Jen.
That's because you just make shit up every day. That's how this goes. So,
oh, well, tell us the truth then.
I have a friend, a singular friend that I've been getting to know, and we're hanging out today. So
where are you going?
And he'll probably none of your business. He's actually gone
a restaurant
back and yes.
Is it Chili's?
No.
All right.
No.
Did you you shut down your apps yet?
Not quite yet, but I'm not responding to anything on the apps. So
notifications piling up. Did you do can't you do like a pause? Like hold on for a second?
Yeah. I think you can.
Have you done a hold on yet?
You know what's really
is that what you're doing tonight? You're gonna hold on?
You know what's messed up is he'll hear this later, just so because he does know of the show.
Who?
And so he's gone back.
The guy from your book club?
Yes, the guy from my book club. We like to read.
Sounds nice.
So, ironically, Eli in Discord, I guess he started.
It's Eli from Discord. Everybody spread it.
No, shut up.
Oh.
No, I was going. Actually, ironically, the book club thing. Someone in our Discords doing audiobooks. They're like recording audiobooks. And so they had posted in Discord that they would, if you want to check out an audiobook that they so actually this person in particular that I'm talking to, I shared you might be reading one of the books from
what's the book?
Well, the book was called, where is it? Find it.
Thank you.
It's like a sci-fi.
Eli from RTP's Discord book. Video going out now. Love it. Clip it, send it out, post it everywhere. Hashtag Jen's off the market.
You guys are wrong. She's all of you. Can't stand any of you.
Did you send him any Dr. Robert Malone podcast, or did he send you any?
No, he's not a over 50 Elon's. He's not over 50.
Right, he's
Elon
younger.
Musk.
All right.
Yes, he's younger than I am.
What kind of music does he listen to, Jennifer?
Why?
I thought we were just taking some time right now to have a conversation.
You're annoying.
What is that a bad question? Is that that one? You told us some dude ate your hand on a first date, but finding out the music they listen to is too far. My bad, guys. It's true. Men do not understand boundaries. This is one of the boundaries I don't understand.
True.
Yeah.
You're right. You good?
Oh, you're not going to tell. You're actually not going to tell us about the music.
He likes like just music. I like.
Does the music talk about dirt roads a lot?
I think he likes a variety of music. I don't know if he has a specific music taste.
God, we are going to watch some
Uh,
evasive people testify in front of Congress later, and none of them will be nearly as evasive as Jen in answering this question.
yeah, I'm just like the Trump administration for
Yeah,
answering questions
yeah.
about people. But so yeah, I won't be at movie night, so you guys can talk all of your shit. That's fine.
No,
Um,
we fully support you and
right?
uh, Dirt Road Daryl, and we hope that this works out
No,
really
no,
well.
no,
Yes, ma'am.
no. Pick a different name than Daryl. There's like
Oh yeah,
no,
he's
pick a
younger.
different
He's
one.
younger. Dirt Road. Dennis is too old of a name. What's a D? Dirt Road David. How about that? Is that his
Fine.
name? Did I get his name right?
No,
That would have
I've
been
told you his
crazy.
name. You probably don't. You probably don't remember, but
You did tell me his
um,
name?
yeah, but you don't remember shit, so that doesn't
That's
matter.
true. Dirt Road Duke is better, actually. Who's that? Fuzzard? Whoa, Fuzzard! W Fuzzard lands a line. Give this motherfucker a trophy. Fuzz, I haven't seen you land a line ever. This is a big day for you. Everybody over on TikTok, tell Fuzzard, great job. This is your day, Fuzzard. Today might be the day for you to play the lottery also. Well done. Dirt Road Danny, that's not bad. Dirt Road Dylan, not bad. Anyways, what's his social?
Well, I don't have that yet. Oh no, but so
Height,
that's an important time. 6 feet.
like actually. Wait, wasn't your cutoff like 6'2"?
No,
It was 6 feet?
it's a day. I mean, I prefer over 6 feet, but
That's fucked up, but that's fine.
I would accept like 5'10" and above. I
Shout
would
out
say,
Short
I
King.
didn't complete.
Oh, he's not a real 6 feet, maybe. It's
No, he's six
close.
feet. He's 6 feet.
All right.
But so I mean, everybody in the chat say hi because I mean, at least on TikTok, not TikTok, Twitch and YouTube, because he's actually gone back and seen the stream. So this will be
Oh, nice.
he-
Well,
he'll go back
Duke,
and
you're the only good review so far. So great job, Duke. We're happy to have you here. I myself listen to some Dirt Road music if that's what you listen to. I'm not even judging. I was talking about that earlier this week. Sometimes country music's great. Like if you just need to not think about anything and not feel anything, you just like listen to a country song. And you're like, yeah, I'd be all right driving down a dirt road to go sit by
I
a
like some
river.
country music.
Yeah.
I like some country music, so there's nothing wrong with country music.
I found out a country song
But
I've been listening to recently was a cover, and it was a it's a One Direction cover, and I thought it was like a legitimate like new country. The Story of My Life. I listened to it. Some guy named Country Club sings it. Got on my playlist. I didn't know that was a that One Direction song.
jeez.
So that happened yesterday.
Well,
I figured that out.
that's exciting. So
Thank you.
I guess we can get going on the show since we've already covered all this for my attendance for later. So welcome everybody. We're live on the 3 platforms for sure, and maybe Facebook. So yeah, on TikTok, it looks like we've got about 6K likes currently. If you could tapping it up to 30K, that would be dope. We've got a gift goal that we need to hit each day. If you're new here, this is our job. We do this Monday through Friday.
Maybe we try it
Around
early
9:30.
today.
What?
The gift goal. Maybe we do it earlier rather than later today, and that way I don't get
Yeah, early
yelled
would
at
be sweet.
by Jen.
Yeah, the stress for trying to make sure we hit it. It's can be a bit much. So if you want to knock out the goal early, I wouldn't complain. So, but like I said, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats all go towards knocking out the gift goal. We prefer the pay links. I can't watch. Why? I know you're reading.
I'm laughing at
comments, and I try
Frank. Frank showed up. Good to see you, Frank. Frank's just showing up like it just made me laugh because Frank just immediately starts poking. He's just trying out. He's just casting a wide net. He's got 15 fishing poles right now, and he's casted in every fucking direction so far. And I appreciate that he came prepared today.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to finish. I'm try to finish my announcements so you can get the show going. Anyways, let's knock out the gift goal. Like I said, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats. all go towards knocking out. We prefer the pay links, the Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. They take less from us. Tonight is a members only
Hey,
event.
Jen, real quick. Sorry to interrupt you.
What?
Laura Lee is asking why I don't have a gift gallery. And I'd like you to answer that question, but also, what is a gift gallery?
On TikTok, I don't know why you don't have a gift gallery. I've looked into it. I have no fucking idea.
Well,
I don't know.
There's your answer.
I don't know why.
Okay, cool.
I've looked into it. I think what I determined at one point in time, I don't know when you set this up, when I looked at before, it was you had it like set up as gaming.
Oh, it is set up as
So
gaming.
I don't know.
I can switch it. It is set up that
Yeah,
way.
it needs to.
I switched it.
I think that could be the issue, but I'm not positive. So
yeah.
But anyways,
Sorry.
so all right, so there's the answer for that. So I'll look into the gift gallery later. But yeah, gift gold today is a members only event at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So Jay will be doing that by himself. You're annoying. You're so annoying today.
Why am I annoying? What did I? I didn't do anything.
I just the look, and you're
Jen
obnoxious
will not
already.
be doing it by herself. Hey.
Anyways, if you want to join us for the members only events, you just have to be a paid member or subscriber wherever you're watching. You can join us for those. If you guys disagree with RTP and like to come up and have a conversation, you can do that by sending me a message on Discord. My Discord username is the same as the Venmo. So Jen with 2 N's, Dub with 2 B's, the number 1, and I can bring you up. Check out the link tree in the bio. We're on most streaming platforms. We've got merch, Jay's on Cameo. We upload these episodes to Spotify. How does a unalive songwriter make new music?
I don't know.
He decomposes.
So it makes new music? Is that
That's the joke.
That doesn't
That's the joke.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's the joke. Do we need a new one?
Who wrote that joke?
I have a joke list.
That doesn't make any sense. It does make sense. He decomposes. How do you write? When you write a song, you
because you compose. Yeah.
But if you decompose it, it's like uncomposing it.
But he's deceased. So
Jen wants to get out of here so bad. She's already checked out for the day. She's not even thinking of it. She's not even trying. You want to just go now? I got this. You want to just go now?
No, because we don't get to get together till later, and I have to get rid of Spawn. So
who? Getting together with somebody tonight?
We've been over this.
Auto-focusing. You see that? It keeps dropping me down. I know how to
it
turn
looked like
that
you
off.
just it looked like you hit the if you like a seat.
Well, then I did, but it's because my camera keeps auto-focusing. It's moving and shit.
Oh my god! Did you take your medicine today?
Shut up.
Are we having an unmedicated day? It's starting to feel that way.
Do you want the honest? I'll tell you the honest truth. I wasn't going to tell you. I was going to take this to my grave. I thought it was 5 milligrams. And it was 25 milligrams. And that was about 2.5 hours ago. And so that's actually why we pushed back 30 minutes today. 5 I take every day. But there was a new bag, and I think they gave me the wrong bag. So
what? Hold on.
Yes.
You normally
Yep.
Do you normally take 25?
No, 5. So this is 5x the normal.
So you're
it's what I mean it's I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. It's like it's not terrible. It's coming back.
Well, I mean, if you're taking 5x, you should be super focused. So you're way
wrong medication there, Jennifer. Wrong medication.
I don't fucking know. Anyways,
the focus medication is 25. The other medication that I often take in the morning, the creative vitamin that I take in the morning, is normally 5. Yeah,
that makes so much more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So,
fun fact, everybody, I don't garden, so
it's true.
So, anyways,
I'm close
So
to.
let's
I'm
get going.
close to figuring out the camera real fast. So keep talking. I think we're almost there. Tell us more about your plan tonight.
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
no.
Dinner or drinks?
Dinner.
Okay.
This is our third hangout. Third hangout.
Ooh, this is the I love you date.
Yeah, no, we don't do this. We don't do this.
All right, I'll get started on the show. I'm
And
sorry.
do you ever chair foot in the right spot? You good?
I think so. I think it looks all right, doesn't it?
Yeah, Mr. P with your Mr. Peabody glasses.
It's not nice.
Going.
It's pretty rude,
Nope.
honestly, for being honest. Okay, great. Let's get started. The title of today's show is "Are the Commies in the Room with You?" Because Republicans have decided that that's going to be I guess that's the midterm message: is you're commies, and also Donald Trump is perfect. So I want to hop over here. There's the video scene. Pablo Reports was able to corner Clay Higgins, which this works out for you guys because I want to show you this clip of Clay Higgins giving Donald Trump a grade for his performance so far. And then we're going to just play clips of Clay Higgins and I feel like we haven't done that in a long time. And I miss talking about Clay Higgins. But here is his grade for Donald Trump.
So if you were grading President Trump, like if you're giving him a report card on the economy so far.
I'm so sorry. Real quick. Blue Chew said Jay's parents told him he could be anything he wanted to be when he grew up. Turns out a disappointment was the easiest option. Boy, you know who would like laugh, but like knowingly laugh at that joke is my parents. They'd be like, yeah, that's correct. They did tell me I could be anything I wanted, and they are disappointed. So it's hurts my feelings and is funny and is kind of true.
His presidency, what grade would you give him?
They'd have to create a new report card with like something above an A.
Okay.
That already exists. A plus, but
he rates like an A plus bigly.
What about all the Americans?
It's a representative of other people. People said, hey, you're the best one to go to Washington and represent us, another group of people. They chose Clay Higgins, who just rated Donald Trump an A plus bigly.
So we're concerned about like affordability issues.
Yeah, still a concern, but sort of reducing it's sort of factoring down as the economy heats up and as it.
What? What about affordability? It's kind of factoring down as the economy heats up. My brothers in Christ, where are we? Where's my friends? Where's our Republican friends here? Frank, help me out here. Somebody translate. What the fuck did that mean?
It's sort of factoring down as the economy heats up and there's plenty of jobs available. And prices creeping down and outlook seem.
They're going up though. Prices are going up. Unemployment's going up. I think that what we're going to learn heading into these midterms, that more than any other time that I can remember, one political party is just fucking guessing. They're not even trying. They're not learning new stuff. They're not looking at numbers. They're just out here guessing and just stringing sentences together. And I think maybe some of these people came to Washington with the idea that they were going to make some changes. Some of them probably used to do homework, but at some point they've all realized that to be good at this job, to get reelected, to be successful, to set yourself up for the future, you just kind of sit around and tell everybody how great Trump is. And you're feeling fine. You got benefits. You've got money. You've got contacts. You can do insider trading. I think they've all just quit. They're just out here like Trump's the greatest, I guess. So, is that good enough?
Better, getting to the other side.
It's not guessing, it's lying. I think you might be giving them too much credit. Honestly, I don't know that they're making enough effort to lie. I think Lightning Dave, I think that's what we would assume with most people, but I honestly believe that they're not even trying anymore. Why would you? Why would you worry about if you happen to have a conscience? You might as well just not learn anything. And then when you're wrong, you'd be like, I didn't know. I was just guessing.
Out of this conflict with Iran, people are seeing that the president's policies, international, is sort of carving out a super stable Western Hemisphere. That's very promising.
What? Foreign policy is carving out a super stable Western Hemisphere? What are we talking about? Snoopy said, funny how Jen is going on a date on hump day. Jennifer? I give this interview an F-, Bigley. It's a good one.
You don't want to do this.
I didn't do
You
it.
really don't wanna do
Snoopy Girl 83 did it.
You don't want to do this. I'll just make
Snoopy
you uncomfortable.
Girl, SNOOPY Girl, GIRL
You
83.
don't want to do this.
I have to read whatever. This is the rule that we made together. When they send in messages, I have to read them. It's obviously not directed at me. I'm showing up for the people.
You're so annoying.
I just see
you don't want to do this.
It's just not for me. I just wanted to know if you wanted to comment on funny how you're going on a date on hump day.
Well, we'll see what happens. All right. I don't know.
All right.
Let me live my
life. You heard
life.
it here first.
Damn.
You're going to see what happens. Jen will be live streaming her date.
You're so
members
stupid.
only. You can hang out with us. It sounds like Jen. What's that?
I'm going to end up leaving today because you're being annoying.
That's a good point, Ross. I did show
5X and nonsense.
Ross said I showed up today, but I also almost accidentally canceled the show. That's true. Do you want to? Maybe you take a Jen. What if we just play the videos and you commentate and see how it goes?
No. I'm good.
Damn it, guys! If we pick up 200 subscribers today, paid subscribers, Jen will live stream her date and the next 3 dates.
Don't lie to these people. I mean, you already told fibs about other shit. So let's just not do that.
All right, that's a good point. I'm sorry. Let's get back to Clay Higgins. Sorry, Jen. My bad. Back to Clay Higgins. Just going backwards. This is going to take forever.
His policies, international, is sort of carving out a super stable Western Hemisphere. That's very promising for trade with our contiguous trade partners, Mexico and Canada. And
what is he talking about? We had a trade agreement with them already. He just slapped more tariffs on. He slapped smoke tariffs on Mexico or on Canada. What in the world is this guy? I'm telling you, they're not even trying. They're just showing up and saying whatever they want. And I think that's what they're told. Just guess. Just as long as it ends with Trump's doing great, you can go ahead and guess. Nobody cares.
Looks good for Central America and South America. What's happening in Venezuela?
Also, good to point out, he's in a different branch of the fucking government. He's in the legislative branch. I don't know why he's talking about. I mean, I guess they asked him the question of like his report card. But are you guys going to do anything?
It's a very good indication of the potentials for, say, bringing in that quality oil into the market and being readily available in the Western Hemisphere.
It fucks me up because it's like, is he baked or am I baked? Which one of us is fucked right now? It feels like him. Like, what is he staring 3,000 yards away? Just a dead blank. I think that he's doing a great job with the contiguous countries in the Western Hemisphere.
Enhance the strength of our position in for world energy and to control pricing at a comfortable level for the consumer and still profitable for the exploration and discovery, extraction, refining, and delivery of final fuel products.
Bro, what is he saying? I agree with the commenter that it's lying because if the number were good, they would know them. Let me offer some pushback there too. They only know the good numbers because they're told the good numbers, not because they're out there working hard to find the good numbers. They get an email every day and they say, here's what you're going to say. How else do you think every Republican congressman in the last 3 days has talked about how you have to have ID to get the Olive Garden all-you-can-eat pasta or never-ending pasta? How do you think they all came up with that idea together? They just get an email every morning. Here's what you say. And this one was off script. So this is what happens when you go off script. He's just guessing.
It has to be profitable or nobody's going to do it. And it has to be affordable or nobody's going to buy it. So you have to hit that sweet spot. And
now loosely describing supply and demand for some reason. I'm not sure. Not sure what this has to do with the president, who doesn't do any of this stuff.
I think it's dawning on everyone that total control and energy dominance and trade dominance of the entire Western Hemisphere is pretty smart. And I think people are recognizing that.
Well,
huh? Sorry, Frank. Guys, Frank's not getting enough attention. He's getting very upset.
what would you give him as far as a grade in terms of the Iran war then? Given that the Strait of Hormuz is closed?
Well, I've been advising very aggressive final action. To me, the only fully acceptable end result is the unconditional surrender of Iran. And
the fuck? The only result is it just unconditionally Iran gives us their country. That's the only. I still can't tell. Nobody can tell us what Iran did still. We have no fucking idea why we're at war with them. But they need to surrender unconditionally, apparently.
And zero capability to produce ever a nuclear weapon, and total capitulation to world trade through the Strait of Hormuz, and an end to state-sponsored terrorism around the globe. I mean, we've been dealing with this for 47 years, and I want it over on our terms.
Would you give him an A then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you give it an A then? Is he drunk or Southern? I think those go hand in hand.
A plus if he can finish a job in the next 2 weeks.
Fuck, he lost the bigly though. There's your answer. Thank you. Lindsay said, only for Jen, I got you. Shut up, Jay. That's fair. Damien said, boom, boom, date night. I think, Jen, both of those are directed to you. If you want to step in, you're welcome to respond to any of that, but I would never ask you to. All right. Just to remind you who Clay Higgins is, because when I was watching that, I was just reminded that this person is an actual member of Congress, meaning he stands on a stage and people are like, that's our fucking guy right there. Go represent us. This is him talking about gun violence in a way that I kind of like, and I might steal this.
Regarding gun violence, and gun violence being the #1 cause of death of children in America today. You'll hear that a lot. Let me correct both. There's no such thing as gun violence. There's only human violence.
There's no such thing as car crashes. There's only human crashes. There's no such thing. That's so stupid. Everybody learned to debunk that argument their first day debating politics. There's no such thing as blue collar or white collar crime. There is only human crime. There is no such thing as human trafficking. Oh, fuck, that one works.
Intellectually unsound to state otherwise.
Does he talk like
Intellectually unsound to state otherwise. And the #1 cause of death for children in America remains abortion.
No, it doesn't, because children are born, and if you're born, then you can't be aborted because you've already been born. So when we measure these statistics, it's of people who are born, and you cannot die from an abortion. Like you can't have your life taken from an abortion if you are born. At that point, then it's just murder. See it one more time.
Cause of death for children in America remains abortion.
I don't know why I got so loud at the end there, but that's Clay Higgins. We're going to keep going. He did bring up that there's no such thing as gun violence, human violence. I don't know what this is. If you remember, this is actually how Clay Higgins got famous. It's from this ad that he put out. This is a real ad that they ran on television and on the internet to try and pick a fight with gang members.
The street gang is responsible for hundreds of violent crimes. We've arrested 10 of these thugs and have warrants on 7 more. Every one of these animals is most definitely armed and dangerous. You will be hunted. You will be tracked. And if you raise your weapon to a man like me, we'll return fire with superior fire. Darren Carter, you think men like these are afraid of an uneducated 125-pound punk like you that's never won a...
I don't know what his education level is, but like historically speaking, to wear the badge, you don't need to be terribly educated. Especially in, I'm guessing in Louisiana, the bar is low.
Fair fight in your life and hold your gun sideways.
Hold your gun sideways. It's the worst album cover ever. You may remember this. Remember when everybody's like, yeah, we got to release the Epstein Files. Remember that? Here's a video of that. They're going to pull up.
On this vote, the rules are action, the motion.
Saw there. You see this? 216 Republicans said release them. 1 said no. 211 Democrats, 0 people. Only 1 person said no. That was Clay Higgins. Clay Higgins said, hide that shit. We don't want anybody reading the Epstein Files. He's the lone Epstein Files keep him hidden guy. And then this is just the last one of Clay Higgins because this one made me laugh too. This was I think this video is specifically funny because of Joe Negus's face in these responses.
That you just posed back, whether you think COVID-19.
Sorry in advance. We're not going to argue about COVID-19, whoever's saying that, but this is about COVID-19.
Is serious or dangerous?
I believe that perhaps the gentleman's definition of danger might be quite different from mine.
I ain't afraid of no virus. I would never be caught dead being afraid of a virus. I'm a strong, brave, inbred Louisiana man, and I ain't afraid of no virus. Please don't look into my history.
Okay. So is that a no? Or I'm trying to understand.
Well, they're obviously.
Is it dangerous to you by your
danger.
definition? I don't.
You know, as levels of danger concern, I would put a virus along the lines of the flu far down my list of priorities that I would consider as dangerous in my life. I have lived a life that I've stared danger in the eye many, many times, and it never resembled COVID.
He came across a street sign that had more than 4 letters, and he's like, fuck, I have no idea what to do. I have no clue. He was alone in his car driving down a Louisiana highway, and the sign had 6 letters. He just froze. And then he went for it. You can make a decision. I don't know what it says. I'm just gonna guess.
Got it. Well, I'll enter into the record. I appreciate your answer. This is an article from August 13th of 2021 from a newspaper titled The Advocate. I think it's a Louisiana newspaper. The headline is Clay Higgins says COVID, quote, almost killed me, remains opposed to mandates. And there's
He's on the record saying it almost killed me. This is my favorite tough guy moment I've ever seen from Clay Higgins. I ain't afraid of no virus. Here's an article you wrote 6 months ago, or that you were quoted saying that it almost killed you. Oh, fuck.
a paragraph here. I'll quote from it.
I promise you're not ready for his answer, too. I promise you on your life, you are not ready for his answer.
So that we're clear. It says, regarding COVID-19, Higgins, Representative Higgins, of course, told the audience of several dozen residents at the event organized by the African American Chamber of Commerce that the disease, quote, almost killed me, end quote. Quote.
It's a direct quote. It's not even like out of context. It's just a direct quote. It almost got me.
There was a day there when I wasn't sure y'all were going to have to tolerate me much longer.
Who said, I'll go with, I'm so strong, so I killed it before he killed me. You're not way off, Grakies. You've got him down. You're not way off for what he says.
End quote, he said. Quote, my wife, my son, and I got COVID about a month ago, the Delta variant, and I've never been knocked down that hard in my life. I'm fully recovered now. My suits fit better, end quote. So
That is an accurate assessment of yes, sir. I faced death's door from the Delta variant of COVID, and I remain very heavily inoculated, having gained natural immunity and lived through that experience because I'm a healthy American.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's what he came up. But now I am inoculated from that deadly disease because I was not afraid. It's starting to get a little Forrest Gumpy out of me. I'm sorry. I'll tighten it up.
And I remain unvaccinated by the experimental.
Fucking thing almost killed him. The fucking thing almost killed him. He's like, and I stand strong in my belief that it is not smart to be vaccinated. Fuck it, let it kill me.
Vaccine, which I'm sure you got. Good luck with that. But
yeah, one of you almost died. It's such a crazy thing to say. I'm sure you got them, and you've been healthy ever since then, and you may or may not have got COVID, but nobody heard about it. There's no op-ed saying that you almost died, but good luck with that. Me, I almost died.
Yeah, I battled COVID a couple of times.
One time
brought me to death's door, but here
a couple of times. He keeps fucking getting it. I told you weren't ready for his answer. I told you were not ready for his answer. I'm safe. I have immunity now because I got it. Except for I keep fucking getting it. I just only one of the times did it almost kill me, but I can't stop getting this fucking shit. I just keep getting COVID. But you're not getting it all the time. You got vaccinated, you idiot. I told you weren't ready for it.
I am.
Well,
and he says it so confidently. He walks out there later, makes some video for his constituents. I stared down the commie left and told them I will not take no experimental vaccine. Conversely, I have 104 fever today, and half my family is dead, but we will never get that vaccine. So that's how we wanted to start today. Let's get to Mike Johnson. Here's the theme of the show today. If you are the Republican Party and people say, why should we vote for you in November? You can either say, I don't know, not a lot of good reasons, or you can go with the new line, which is, at least I'm not a commie. When there's no communist, no socialist running.
Mr. Speaker,
come on, all right, go ahead.
Okay, so the president has said that the Save America Act is his number one priority.
Yeah.
When making the argument to Democrats to vote yes for this, because it will require Democrats to pass, can you give for me one example?
They can't hear very well. He said, can you just give us one example of fraud in any previous election that the SAVE Act would stop? That's the question here. Clot shot, no things. Oh, just a reminder, we are starting a new program for any of you MAGA folks here. It's for your dads if they are unvaccinated. We're starting a new program called Back Shots for COVID Shots, and if they get the COVID shot and show me their documentation, you can figure out the rest. Anyways, what is one thing, Mike Johnson, you could point to that, or one instance that would have been stopped by the SAVE Act?
Look, we're not going to litigate all that. I can tell you what I'll tell Democrats. You should listen to the American people. Ostensibly.
Could you give us one example? I'm not going to do that. Instead, let me tell you what I would tell Democrats.
We're supposed to come here and represent the interests of the American people. This is a 90-10 issue in public opinion polling, and Democrats.
It's it's definitely not a 90-10 issue, and they know that it's not a 90-10 issue. It's a 90-10 issue in America that you should have to prove your citizenship to be able to register to vote. It should be 100-0, and there is nobody who thinks otherwise. And it's already the law. So it's sad that it's 90-10. There's 10% of the people that don't understand the question, and we need to do a better job educating 10% of the people. But that is already the law in this country. That's popular. It's not partisan, and you don't need to write it down again. It's already the law. So writing it down again doesn't change anything. They just keep saying this because remember, the question is, can you tell us what this would fix? And they don't, not one of them actually has an answer for this.
People. This is a 90-10 issue in public opinion polling, and Democrats agree that you should be.
Charlie, come talk to me, educate me, bud. First, a couple things you want to do. Number one, understand I am educated, and I do my own research, only my own research. This is my show. The fuck are you talking about? Two, not a liberal. Also not a Democrat. Right? So you should do your research before you come in and start giving suggestions, right? Or you can come up here and talk to me. Anybody can talk to me. You message JENNDUBB1 on Discord. You can come up here. You can tell me what I'm getting wrong. But what I'm getting right currently is that the Republicans have certain talking points, and you're going to watch about 10 different examples of Republicans all saying the same goddamn thing. This is not a liberal talking point. I'm actually showing you Republican talking points, showing you how they're doing the messaging. I'm showing you how they condition you. I used to be a Republican. This used to be my job. We had to condition people like you. We had to come up with stuff like this to get people out to vote. And we knew that they weren't going to read anything or learn anything, so we had to come up with like catchphrases and talking points. And so I'm just showing you how they do that. But thanks for being here. You're probably new. No disrespect. You're welcome to stay.
A citizen and have a photo ID to vote at a tune of about 70%. So,
okay,
come on.
So no answer to that. Instead, they're just going to keep calling everybody commies. Here's Chip Roy, got caught on a podcast accidentally admitting, and this was a couple months ago. I think we played this before. He was on, I forget what podcast this is called. He admits that the SAVE Act makes it harder for people to vote.
Critically important. The problem we have is we've got some folks out there that are trying to stir the pot on this, allegation that it somehow is a barrier for married women to be able to vote because
Yeah. They're out here trying to convince people. Just remember what he said. Trying to convince people that there's married women will have a new barrier to vote. Right? That's our talking point that we're trying to convince you of. It's not a fact. It's a talking point, right?
We've got to deal with getting IDs with name changes and all those things. Although, frankly, I'm trying not to elevate the issue too much.
Frank was a Republican, dummy. Was a Republican.
My chief of staff had to go get a new ID in Virginia. Virginia's adopted the real ID system. So she had to go through.
This is their talking point that they're all trying to convince you of. Also, this did apply to my chief of staff, who had to do the exact thing Democrats are accusing this bill of forcing you to do.
A bunch of hoops. She's going to have to go back to the DMV twice because they want the paperwork for it. That's just part of the issue with how we try to set up the ability to identify people. But there's no barriers at all to married women being able to vote. The SAVE Act.
Frank, by the way, there are black anarchists, Frank. They exist. That's crazy that you've, I'm not surprised. You could have said, I've never met any black, and then whatever the next word was, I probably would have believed. But those black anarchists exist. You know what I mean? I don't know why we're talking about that. Let's get back to these to Republicans, though. So the SAVE Act doesn't do anything but disenfranchise some voters and drive voter turnout down. But as McGovern will introduce here, and everybody can see it. And I'm showing this. This is 4 minutes with Jim McGovern. The reason I wanted to show this is like we can say it till we're blue in the face, and so we're going to. I think you guys are probably going to get annoyed with me. I'm going to try and include anytime I find these clips of Republicans talking about communists. I think I'm just going to play them. Just going to play them over and over and over again so that people recognize how you're being conditioned and how they're not saying anything. They're literally just saying, hey, those guys are something that they're not. Hey, we're not talking about COVID. Anybody talking about COVID right now, you're getting muted in the chat. I don't want to see anything about Dr. Robert Malone. That is dangerous for my life. It gets us taken down. It gets us, it throttles traffic. We're not doing COVID shit here. Okay? Warning for everybody. Nobody talk about COVID.
Point is calling Democrats communists. I mean, oh my God.
I'm sorry. Real quick. Brianna said, what did the cannibals say after eating some pagans? Tastes like Wiccan. I like that one a lot, actually. Thank you, Brianna. I got that one from Lindsay. There was one other one that came through last night. I forgot to cover it. It was from Courtney. Courtney, if you're here, any thoughts on Vulcan Gas and the government giving them $670 billion connection with Rogan? He has a Vulcan Gas Club, or did. I didn't know this, so I looked it up. I just think this is somebody getting their information wrong. Vulcan Energy is Don Jr.'s, the company he's on the board of that got that $670 billion loan from the Pentagon. Vulcan Gas Club is a comedy club in Austin that Rogan had some sort of ownership in. I don't know if that's what the mothership is called or if, I'm not sure, but that's where they host Kill Tony. Those are different things. I found no connection between the two. One is Vulcan Energy, one's Vulcan Gas, I think Vulcan Gas Company or Gas Club or something like that. So if you have other research on that, I didn't find. I spent like 5 minutes. That's what I could come up with.
Mr. Speaker, I mean, really? Really? Communists? Did we accidentally step into a time machine? I get it. I get it. They don't want to talk about the real issues, the bread and butter issues. They don't want to talk about affordability. I guess my question is Joe McCarthy back from the dead? Because it sounds like that's who wrote all the garbage coming from Republicans.
Feels like that because that is who wrote all the garbage coming from Republicans. The reason that this is familiar to a lot of us is we're the first generation to deal with a Red Scare that also has access to the internet. And so we can look back at McCarthyism. We can look back at the 1930s here in the United States. We can look back to times. And every single time the conservatives started talking about the Red Scare, it's because they were fucking up and they didn't really have anything else to offer. And there were progressives who were offering like substantive change. When progressives were talking about introducing Medicare and Social Security and worker protections through unions, what was the refrain? It was, you are commies, you are commies, you are commies. If we allow these people into office, we will become communists. Well, we never became communists. Nobody even really tried to become communist. We were never even really close to becoming communist. It's just that people got more rights. And conservatives are always doing the interest of the wealthiest. That's how this country works. That's who the conservatives work for. And progressives generally work for the people. So anytime you start hearing conservatives talk about communism, it's because they don't have anything to offer that can combat what progressives are offering.
About communism. These guys, they dust off the same tired, old talking points every time they're backed into a corner. Every time a new poll comes out saying that your economic agenda sucks, what they do is they change the subject. They try to divert attention. It is pathetic. But fine. They want to play that.
I'm going to play about 10 examples after this. So conservatives, if you don't agree with Jim McGovern, maybe hold your criticism. Don't be the person to be like, they never do that, because I'm going to show you a bunch of examples.
Let's play that game. Let's talk about the Republican Party, a party that worships one man above the Constitution in a cult of personality, a party that demonizes immigrants and says they poison the blood of our country, a party that calls the free press the enemy of the people and sicks the Justice Department on journalists who they don't like, a party that says their political opponents are internal enemies and calls them, quote, the enemy within, a party that is okay with invading our allies, including other democracies, a party that punishes their political opponents, that has deployed troops on our own streets, that wants to use the American military on the American people, a party that believes any unhinged lie, fantasy, and conspiracy theory.
True. Druid, for the record, I'm glad you're here, and you're welcome to just spout off as many different opinions as you want. Don't confuse people pushing back with us not being allowing other opinions. People just disagree. That's kind of how that works.
As long as it comes from one man. A party that tries to lock up members of Congress for exercising their free speech rights. And a party that has tried to violently overthrow the results of a free and fair election in the United States of America.
Some would call that fascism. That's what I would call it, but that leads to a longer debate. So let's just call it authoritarian.
A party that, in fact, pardoned everyone who invaded this building on January 6, 2021, and tried to throw out the votes of millions of Americans because the president couldn't accept that he lost. How dare that party lecture anyone? How dare they talk about communism when their own party has totally lost touch, not just with the founding ideals of this country, but lost touch with reality itself.
A long time ago, too. Next time there, Druid. You are here a lot. Just in all fairness, you say you're here a lot. You've been able to come up here every day. So one of these days, let's just see that courage and come up. You can own me. I don't even want to own you or be owned. I just want to have a nice consensual conversation. And you point out where I'm wrong. I would love that all day. Like if every single day I could just get conservatives to come up here and explain to me what I'm getting wrong, but my life would be a lot easier. I would really enjoy that too. I'll give you plenty of rope. You just explain what I'm getting wrong. I desperately want one of you guys to explain one of your ideas ever. It would be so cool. But unfortunately, seems the courage stays in the chat.
So if we're going to start assigning political labels based on conduct, then let's call things by their proper names. The Republican Party has become the party of fascism, full stop. They have become a party of far-right fascists who are hell-bent on destroying our country.
See, look, there's DZ Squad. See how we're showing this speech is unironically explaining how conservatives are programmed to not address a single argument and instead call everybody communist. And here comes DZ Squad. Listening to this man who wants illegal people to come here, trying to make us bow to the communist agenda the left wants so bad for America. Both of those things are untrue. Literally not one person running for Congress wants open borders and communism. Not one. It is crazy to watch you guys in real time take the bait like this. He's like, I promise you, they're not going to address any of these economic arguments. They're not going to address their failures on the war. They're just going to point and say, look over there, communism. And you just came in and you did it right here for us. You just showed up and you're like, look, I can do it. I'm doing the thing. Here I am doing the thing. So proud too. I don't know what your next thing. You're going to argue with me again. You're going to talk about it now again. You're going to keep going. No matter how many times we predict your exact behavior, it's like, I can't stop from doing it. I have to yell communism.
And our way of life. And every single time they call us communists, it is nothing more than a projection of their own radicalization. They don't want to talk about that. And they definitely don't want to talk about their higher grocery prices or skyrocketing gas prices or higher inflation.
It's Mama Rara. This is Senator or Representative McGovern, Jim McGovern, I think from Massachusetts. You yell racist? Nobody said racist, dummy. I still can't defend any of these economic arguments. So now I'm going to create a hypothetical where we argue and you call me a racist, and that's why I'm not going to come defend these arguments. Jesus Christ, like just one of you, just one time be like, I can explain it and come up here and let's talk about it. It's so crazy to watch you do this. Would you like to talk to me about your ideas? Yeah, I would, but you're just going to be a bully, so I'm going to not talk to you. All right, pal.
Or the cost of health care or their new endless illegal war that has now cost over $100 billion. So instead, they scream and they yell because they have nothing else left to offer. This would be funny, Mr. Speaker, if it weren't so pathetic.
Frank, stay on subject, bud. No more talk about the Black Panthers and anarchy, bud. We're talking right now, Frank. We might have to do some conditioning for you. Right now, we're talking about Republicans not offering a plan and calling everybody communists. Frank, all you can do for the rest of the live today is tell us what the Republican plan is. You can't criticize other people. This is your day. Every time you say anything that isn't what the Republican agenda is, then we're going to mute you for 2 minutes at a time or 3. Odds you can figure it out. Every time. Today, we're going to keep you on topic. This is going to be a fun experiment.
And so unhinged. Mr. Speaker, Democrats are patriots who love this country enough to fight for it. We are fighting to make it easier for people to afford groceries. We're fighting to try to make it easier for people to afford rent, prescription drugs, and health care. And we will not be lectured by a fascist Republican Party that offers the American people nothing but lies, fear, endless culture wars, and tax breaks for billionaires.
All right, somebody take care of the mute for Frank there. 5 minutes now for Frank. Thank you. All right, now let's look at the Republicans doing exactly what he said. And this is where everybody gets their thoughts from. This is where the talking point memo comes from every single morning. An email goes out from Stephen Miller to a bunch of content creators and members of Congress, and he says, this is what we're saying today. I'll even go on TV and I'll show you what we're saying today. I'm going to go on Hannity tonight, tomorrow morning. You all repeat what I say, and you're going to see they all did it.
The Democrat Party has
5 minutes, Jen. Give him 5 because he did it twice.
embraced not only socialism.
I mean, Casey, sorry.
They've embraced communism. Straight up, outright, full-throated communism. They are now elected.
Yeah, that's right. The Democrats are running on abolishing the government and currency. Famously. They're all like, we should completely get rid of government, currency, and the class system. Gone. Mark, name one Democrat who is running on abolishing the government. I'm going to ask you guys questions today. Mark, can you give us one? 5 minutes for Mark if he doesn't respond to that, because you're talking about my hats now. Don't talk about my hats. My hats are fantastic. This is Sendero, and this hat is hard to wear properly because it's too big for my head. Mark, we need you to explain or tell us one Democrat who is running on abolishing the government. Mods, will you watch for it? If he doesn't give us a name, then a minute or 5 minutes.
Candidates who want to take private industry over, give it to the government, suspend the Constitution, abolish the Senate, abolish borders, abolish prisons, abolish jails, abolish the jury system.
Is he talking? Who's running on this?
Abolish our entire way of life. The contrast has never been more clear. There's President Trump, the Republican Party, and American First, or there are the crazy communist lunatics who will steal everything you know and love in this nation, and they will never, ever let you have it back.
That's right. That's right. Say goodbye to your pocket pussy, Mark. You're toast. You guys are fucked. Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. But here is, I don't even know. Honest to God, I don't know who this is, and it wasn't important enough for me to look it up. I do not know who this is. So can somebody tell me which congresswoman this is? She got the memo.
I don't care what they call themselves, but when you're taking pages out of the playbook of Karl Marx, pushing for abolishing private property.
She's reading it. Look at this. She's reading the fucking memo. She's reading Stephen Miller's memo. She didn't even take time to memorize it.
Pages out of the playbook of Karl Marx, pushing for abolishing private property rights and seizing the means of production.
Who is doing that? Who is, where's another Republican? Hootie. Is Hootie still here? Did we get rid of Hootie yet? Hootie. Who is, who's running on this? Who's running on abolishing private property rights?
Or Hugo Chavez in packing the Supreme Court. That's what you're going to get. So they can call themselves Democrat socialists, but the reality is that the Communist Caucus, the Commie Caucus, is coming to Congress. And it's going to be
The Commie Caucus is coming to Congress, and you all better be scared. The Commie Caucus, they're coming to Congress, and you had better be scared. What the fuck is this? How are you? How are these your representatives? Did anybody figure out who the fuck this is? By the way, do we know who this is? I have no idea who this is. What the fuck is she talking about?
rude awakening if we don't all pay attention, and that includes the press. Think about what's happened in those countries where they've had
what countries?
Socialism and communism.
Norway, Sweden, Denmark, the UK, Spain, Switzerland, France, Israel, United States of America. We've had socialism. None of those countries had communism, by the way. None of, because it can't exist. But
the press is the first one.
How's China doing? China's doing pretty fucking great. Make a good argument. I know Hassan's getting a bunch of heat for saying, like, he's really, I don't know what he's doing. Why is he dressing up like that, by the way? What is he doing? But he's really leaning into communism hard right now. I don't know if, I don't know. It seems strange to me. I don't like what he's doing. I don't know if you guys like it. It seems weird to me. But if you're going to argue that China is communist, but then they're also like kicking our ass, then wouldn't we be arguing that like communism is winning? It's not. They're not doing communism over there. But if you're going to argue that they're communists, you're going to have to explain how like 90% of them own houses, how their middle class is rapidly expanding, how like their renewable energy production is miles ahead of everybody else, how manufacturing's miles ahead of everybody else, how they're able to develop technology much cheaper than we do. I mean, I guess if that's communism, can't have it both ways, right? Look at China. Look at how bad things are. It's like, fuck. Oh, they all have healthcare? That's crazy. I saw this video of this lady working, I think it was in Beijing. She just comes down from her apartment. There's a guy on a scooter that waits for her every morning. It costs her like $1.50 to go to work. She goes to work. There's a cafeteria of like fresh made Chinese food. Go figure. It cost her $2 to have that. She has like a gym. She has a laundry place. Everything's automated on her phone. I was like, man, that place looks awesome. It's communism. Watch out. You might get communism. Okay, I guess I'm in. If China is communism economically, I guess I'm in. Remember, these are largely monetary theories. So the stuff that China has done in terms of mistreatment of groups of people, that's not part of communism. Right? It's different. No different than it's not necessarily part of capitalism, but people in power often times will look at certain groups of people and think that they are worth less, and so they treat them poorly to prop up their own economic theories. But why? Who the fuck is scared of communism? Everything they point to that is communist, it's like, it's probably okay. Look at Cuba. It's not like Cuba was destroyed by communism. They were destroyed by the United States sanctioning the fuck out of them.
When they finally consolidate that power, the media...
She is a senator, much smarter than every clown on this skit. She's not a senator. She's a congresswoman. And you also don't know her name, just like everybody else here. You've never seen her either. None of us know her name. But she's not a senator. She wouldn't be here with Mike Johnson and whatever caucus this is.
Is the first one to go, and it is a state-run media. So it's incumbent upon all of us to get the truth out there about the threats that we are facing as a country with these radical people that want to bring this horrific ideology here.
Then next up we get Steve Scalise. He goes even further. Steve Scalise learned some new words.
Look, the Bolshevik takeover of the Democrat Party is in full swing. And communism is on the ballot this November against...
It's not on the ballot.
Freedom. Make no mistake about that. The lines have never been more clear.
By the way, communism by definition would be extremely free. How could you not be free from the government if there is no government? It's interesting to hear people be like, communism is the opposite of freedom. Respectfully, as a not communist, you would be free from the government. I mean, anybody else could do shit to you and the government couldn't protect you. You wouldn't have protection, but you would be free from the government because it would not exist.
Clear in an election. Look.
All right. So there's Steve Scalise. The Bolshevik Revolution is here. The Bolshevik takeover of the DNC is in full swing. Communism is on the ballot. And Benny Johnson went even further. Apparently, guys, I was unaware of this. Apparently, we are setting up death squads. I was unaware of this, but Benny Johnson will let us know.
Senator, I don't think you were at UFC at the White House, but like, I think I'm getting this right. Like the left is setting themselves up. They're training. They're ready to like try and stage a mass slaughter event on America. Like they're ready to do it.
Huh? A mass slaughter event? What does that have to do with the UFC? And what are we talking about? Big W in the chat for Nomad Gal said, starting the dollar train early. Let's go. Sent $175 over on Cash App. Thank you so much, Nomad Gal. And Ty said, possible to have free healthcare and low rates? 100%. I mean, it's subsidized healthcare. We shouldn't say free healthcare, right? Because it's paid for by taxpayer money. But if you look at Medicare for all and that being expanded out to the entire population, you would pay less for Medicare for all than you pay for insurance premiums now. So yeah, it would be significantly cheaper. But let's get back to Benny Johnson now. Says I guess we're doing death squads.
Ready to like try and stage a mass slaughter event on America. Like they're ready to do it.
What's he? A slaughter. I think slaughter.
America. Like they're ready to do slaughter event.
Yeah, that's slaughter.
Mass slaughter event.
That's slaughter. Yeah. What's he talking about? You guys getting the email? I'm not getting the emails. I haven't got a single email about the mass slaughter event. Have you guys been getting the emails?
On America. Like they're ready to do it.
Yeah, I mean, these are Antifa tactics they've used. You were talking about what happened yesterday.
What? Is Antifa doing mass slaughter events too? I missed that email. Didn't even discuss that at the potluck. That sucks. Andrea said, donating because 25 milligram J is making me so happy. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you for the $5. Kelsey said, when is Hootie in the TikTok chat going to grow a pair to discuss with Jay how 400 non-citizens voting in New Jersey proved Trump right about widespread election-altering fraud? We'll get to that later today. I think Christina said, hat collection or capitalism. Ba-doom. Thank you, Christina. That's my favorite joke so far. Thank you for that.
Remember in Dallas, there was a...
By the way, this is a United States senator. This is Eric Schmidt he's talking to. You would think a senator would push back on this. Instead, he's like, yeah, that's exactly what Antifa's been doing, mass slaughter events.
These are Antifa tactics they've used. You were talking about what happened yesterday. Remember in Dallas, there was a similar kind of incident.
I think they're talking about what happened in New York, where that guy like attacked with fireworks. It was just crazy. If you read that story, that's insane. He had a bunch of I guess like was it gasoline, had fireworks. It was a crazy way for him to attack somebody, but he was on the left. We'll say he was on the left. Not good. Not a mass slaughter event though. He seemed to be working alone.
Doing is they're drawing federal officers out, and then they have snipers or other people who are going to actually murder ICE agents or anybody that comes out of those federal buildings. This is like a tactic they've been using.
When did they use that tactic? This tactic that they've been using. You guys, Eric Schmidt and Benny Johnson. Could you give me an example of when they did this? Sorry, but China is absolutely communist. What do you think they are? Democratic? Oh no, buddy. Communism and democratic are not, those aren't opposites. Democratic refers to like the form of establishing your government, right? And communism is a more of a economic theory where there would be no government. And since there is a government in China, they can't be communist. But if they are, if we want to call them communist, then they're doing very well. So we should probably not be afraid of what they're doing, right? All right, here's Eric Schmidt.
And I think that one thing that's been made very clear, and Secretary Rubio gave a speech about this too, and I talked about it a year ago, the connectedness now of these organizations. It's much easier for them to be a network where they're sharing not just, human resources.
Yeah, but when are they going to do something? You said we've been doing us Antifa and the anti-fascists. We've been doing like mass slaughter events. We've been like luring people out of their buildings and then using snipers. When did we do that? That sounds like the United States military when we invade other countries. That I don't remember this happening. Any of you guys have an example of that in the chat? You're gonna block this channel? That's a good idea. Yeah. Love you, bud. If this upsets you that we're laughing at this, this isn't the channel for you. I hate to.
Welcome, Monty.
What?
Welcome, Monty Raiders.
Thank you, Monty Raiders. Welcome. Good to have you here. I hate saying this. Andrew Yang, I think, kind of made a good point here, and I don't know. I think that Democrats should actually adopt this. I might get some pushback here. I want some pushback here from those on the left if I'm getting this wrong. I didn't think a great deal about this, but my knee-jerk reaction watching this clip was I kind of agree with Andrew Yang here.
This push to the left will ultimately hurt the party.
If you look at the recent New York races that have gotten a ton of attention, those were in closed party primaries, and so it's a more limited voting universe, and so it's easier to have more left-leaning candidates come out. It's one reason why this Michigan Senate primary is so interesting, because it's a broader swath of the electorate. I know both Abdul El-Sayed from CNN, actually, and Haley Stevens, who's been a very effective legislator. So I think this is a true litmus test.
But so your point, which is something you've talked about for years with the Forward Party, is this idea that open primaries, not closed primaries, actually lead to more moderate candidates. And in New York, where you ran for mayor, that's not the case right now.
You're not going to believe this, but the more people vote, the more representative the process is. And so you end up with a candidate that appeals to different sorts of people. It's one great frustration of mine that the primaries in New York City are closed. And right now there are people who are trying to open them up. And
let's talk about where that leads, because I actually agree with this. Abolishing the two-party system. You don't like people on the far left winning elections? Open up the primaries and open them up for Republicans too. Like you might lose some. You might lose. I don't think you would lose who you think you're going to lose. By the way, on the left, I don't think you're going to wind up losing Democratic stronghold, like progressive strongholds. I don't think you lose AOC. I don't think you lose Bernie Sanders. On the right, I don't think you lose like a Clay Higgins, because there's some places where they just want that far right shit. But you can't be like a far right or far left candidate in a more moderate area. I like that. Open up the primaries for everybody. We should have open primaries. We should have ranked choice voting. I recognize that means that some candidates that I like have less of a chance to win, but it forces people to talk about ideas. And I've said this many times. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about this. He asked me, like, could you vote for a Republican? I was like, yeah, if there's a lot of things I could overlook that Republicans stand for that I could overlook if they gave us universal health care. Like if we could pass Medicare for all, I think like I can deal with some other ideas that they are in favor for. I could probably be okay with them advocating for lower taxes. I could get on board with a lot of their ideas, or at least I could stomach a lot more of their ideas if we had single payer healthcare. Because the other option is you get nothing. I don't know. I never know, Jay Rezi. I never know when I'm going to get pushback. Forced birth. No, I probably wouldn't be on board with that. No, probably not. But if you were to say, Lauren, in this scenario, like if you were to say that each state has there's some sort of protection, going back to Roe and then allowing the states to make their own decisions with Roe as a baseline, I'm on board with that. Even though my baseline isn't Roe, I think Roe is restrictive. But I would that would be a capitulation I'd be willing to make. I think open primaries are more democratic. I agree, because it lets everyone be on the same ballot and lets everyone vote on the same ballot, and the top two face off in the general election. I mean, that's what they're doing in California. It still works out that the conservatives don't wind up winning. We have open primaries in Montana and have only had dinos and extreme Republicans. Well, I mean, Montana's such a weird state, because you would think that you have progressives with like the influx of people moving from California, but what you actually have is like, I don't know, neolibs that are like low tax. There's like, yeah, low tax, everything Republicans like, except for like, we're not going to fight against gay marriage. Yeah, if it comes, that's right. Yeah, I'm with you. Bong and stuff. If it comes with ranked choice, I mean, if you have open primaries, I think it comes with ranked choice. All right. Because everybody, if you're going to do open primaries, you're going to look at the most effective way to do it. And I think everybody agrees that that's the most effective way to do it. And you're going to have Republicans and Democrats agree. So the fairest way to do it is to not rig anything. Just be like, okay, open primaries, ranked choice. Maybe you expand it to 3 instead of 2, whatever you do. Yeah. Very wealthy liberal Democrats are the ones moving to Montana. Exactly. Oslo. Exactly. All right, here was Peter Welch. Peter Welch is going to have a bad day today, but I'm going to show a good version of Peter Welch here. This one's iffy. I don't know how I feel about this, but some of the things Peter Welch says I like here. It's really hard for me to let go of my hatred for John Fetterman, but it kind of sounds okay.
in your own party. We've obviously seen some fast-moving developments in Maine, but there also is, of course, a critical Senate race going on in Michigan. And I know you had endorsed Mallory McMorrow in that Senate race. She, of course, withdrew and left Haley Stevens and Abdul El-Sayed as the remaining contenders. Do you plan to endorse one of those two people in that race?
I don't, and I'm going to leave it up to the Michigan voters. And, you know, the whole debate here on the Democratic side, moderates, liberals, progressives, the bottom line for us is that all of us have to have some mutual respect and tolerance where what our agenda is shared. We do want to have clean energy. We do want to.
That's true. That sucks. And this is where like primaries matter, right? You can, in the primaries, especially with ranked choice, you're going to be able to vote for the person you most align with. And oftentimes, especially if you're in a more moderate area, you're going to wind up settling for somebody that wasn't your first choice, but maybe your second choice. And then you can kind of, it's not like far left versus far right. It's not like you have one good option and then shit. That's the nice thing with ranked choice. Eric says, Drew rhymes with Blue Chew. Drew rhymes with Blue Chew, and he clearly needs some. Drew, get that dick up, big dog. You got this. I'm tired of you making us look like whiny little bitches. I'm tired of it. I would like if people looked at America and said, hey, these people are skeptical of their government. We try and be like, hey, we're not just lining up to suck the dick. I've been stretching my mouth. I've been preparing for this. Was it Kash Patel? Put it in there. Pete Hegseth? Put it in there. Donald Trump? Put it in there. Blue Chew, give me all the dicks. There you go. Just a little non-sponsored ad from Blue Chew. Blue Chew, get it together. Send us a promo code. We'll get all these conservatives straightened out. You get some blood flow down there, you all feel better.
Resist authoritarianism. We do want to have a healthcare system that's not the most expensive and least effective in the world. And we want to have kids be able to buy a house before they're 40 years old. So those things should unite us regardless of which strain of the party you're from. And that's incumbent on all of us. We can fight it out, but the bottom line is we've got a job to do that's about affordability, it's about giving economic opportunity to people, and it's about preserving our democracy.
One of your other
good point. It is like, I think in primary season, it's all right to hammer the Democrats that we don't like. At the end of the day, what's best case scenario for progressives? We're not going to get everything that we want. The truth is, we have to, like, this fight against funding Israel and getting rid of AIPAC. That's a little bit longer fight, but it's starting to feel like even the most moderate Democrats are talking about healthcare and Medicare for all. That feels like a winnable battle. I was talking to Danielle before we got started today. It was a little bit unrelated, but we were talking about like voting being too big to rig. You want universal healthcare? The first step is winning the midterms by a large margin. That's the first step. And then you have that argument for the next 2 years, and then you come out again in 2028 and you pass Medicare for all with the next Democratic president. Yeah, I honestly think, I know this may sound crazy. I think that if Democrats sweep the midterms, Donald Trump would sign Medicare for all into law. I think if it passed the House and the Senate, he would sign it into law. I do not think he would use a veto on that. I don't think he gives a shit about any of that. His bread is not buttered by insurance companies. He gets way more money elsewhere, and they would have to really ramp up their spending. And even then, like, what's the point? Can he really get that much money out of him? I don't know. I think he would sign it. We have to win it bigly. That's right. A+ bigly. That's how we have to win it.
Colleagues, one of your Democratic colleagues in the Senate, John Fetterman, has drawn a line, he has said, in terms of remaining in the Democratic Party. And his line is Israel.
Genocide John? Are we calling him Genocide John yet? His line in the sand is, we have to keep funding a genocide. John Fetterman can suck my ass. Emily said, a dollar train or Antifa dues, whatever makes you happy or love this show so much. Thank you, Emily. Let's call it Antifa dues. Appreciate that.
Israel. I want to play what he told my colleague Jake Tapper on Sunday. We'll talk about it on the side. Watch.
If you believe the Democratic Party's future is rooted in describing Israel as apartheid state or genocidal, and they don't deserve to have our support, that forces me to say, is this really make sense for me as a Democrat?
That's crazy. How is that your line? Differing opinions on another country and whether or not we fund that other country is the line in the sand for Genocide John. How the fuck did you find that line in the sand? Of all the things that could be a line in the sand, how is funding Israel, or even just what he said there before, like calling them an apartheid state? They are an apartheid state. What are we talking about? They're ethno-supremacists. I've never heard a good argument for why Israel is not ethno-supremacist. It's currently in its Zionistic form. It doesn't have to be an ethno state. That's the ideology. This isn't even a popular opinion with Republicans either. This is a very deeply unpopular opinion. John Fetterman, he can't even run as a Republican and win. He's going to get his ass kicked the next time he's up for. I don't even know. I doubt he runs because he can't run on either ticket and win.
Based on what he said, do you think he can stay in the Democratic Party?
I do. John Fetterman is a down-the-line supporter of Israel. We know that. And many of the Democrats have raised real questions, myself included, about the Netanyahu government and what it's done in Gaza.
Fetterman is on his own now, but now here's where, with Peter Welch, I get it though. He's out there. He sucks. It's their job to get him to sign on to Medicare for all. Will we still hate him if he votes for Medicare for all? Probably. Do we want him to vote for Medicare for all? Absolutely. If he's the deciding vote on Medicare for all, I'm comfortable with that. We can run him out during the elections. Can't run him out before then anyways. He's a good man. Fetterman is a good man. He believes in genociding the right people. He believes in ethno-supremacy. That is a good man, that John Fetterman.
What it's doing in the West Bank. But if John Fetterman has been an incredibly good, solid Democrat on economic issues that make a difference to Pennsylvanians and make a difference to everyday folks in this country. And he's voted with the Democrats over 90% of the time. So he is in a minority, I think, on our side on Israel, but he is very much with us on economic issues.
Do you think the Democratic Party will end up saying in its platform that Israel is an apartheid state?
No, I do not.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, there's no shot. Great. Kudos, progressives. Now, Republicans are going to tell you, like the beginning of that, Republicans are calling all of that Marxism. But what has the progressive left actually done? How has it actually swung the Democrats? No longer is funding Israel a part of the party platform. Medicare for all is the most popular idea on the left. And that's across moderates as well. That's a win. That's a win. So if you're a Republican and you need to message against that, what are you going to do? You're going to go out to your constituents and be like, no, actually, we need to keep funding Israel. That's not popular. You can't go out there and be like, why would we want Medicare for all when our system's working so well now? Because nobody thinks our system's working well now either. So what do? If you're a Republican, you run on your economic record. Things are going very well here. Everything is so affordable. That's not going to work. They're running on Red Scare. These are communists because there's literally nothing to run on. And even the ideas that Democrats are putting out there, they can't really refute or offer a better solution. So they're just stuck with, be afraid of the communists. Only you extreme clowns focus. We're not focused on Israel. That was John Fetterman that was focused on Israel. Right? It wasn't us. We haven't talked about Israel much. I want to show this clip, though. This is what I was talking about. I don't know why Hassan is doing this. Hassan has turned into like a real political player. He's no longer a commentator. Like he's bridged that divide now. Like he's something different. He's not a streamer. He's an influencer. He's kind of a political strategist now. He's an organizer. He is the face of a movement. My brother in Christ. If you're trying to be ironic with what you're wearing, because they're calling you a communist and you're like, I'm going to dress like a communist, that's kind of funny, but there's repercussions. Because there are people who will see this and close their mind. I don't know why he's doing this. I think this is counterproductive. I get the troll. I get that if he's doing it ironically, I get it. I do think that's kind of funny, but like it's not a great move. If you're Hassan, it's different if it was me. It's different if it was Vosh. It's different if it was somebody like who rated us the other day. I forget his name. The Canadian dude. is different. But Hassan's now leading a movement. I think this is I don't know why he's doing this, but he was on with Zateo though, and they were talking about Tucker Carlson. And I think this is a good argument as to like how you have to handle people like Tucker Carlson in this unique moment where the far left and the far right are kind of united in their disdain for Israel and disdain for foreign wars. And it makes it kind of tricky to navigate what content you're going to elevate and who you're going to align with. Because do I want to align with Tucker Carlson? No, he's got some terrible views, but we tend to agree pretty much on Israel.
What is your position on the Tucker Carlson rebirth?
RTP stand soon. Well, I'm just saying like it's ill-advised. I'm not upset about it, but you be pragmatic. If you're trying to influence people and not scare them away, I just think it's a bad move. It might be like unk of me. I'm probably being pretty unk. Somebody calls me unk every day here. This is probably one of those moments. You're probably right. Fuck that. Or delete it. I don't know how to delete it, but delete that thought. You might be right about that.
Whatever you want to call it, reimagination of Tucker Carlson, the new anti-Israel, supposedly anti-Republican, anti-Trump Tucker Carlson. Where do you stand on Tucker?
I think he's
Tucker isn't far right. Okay. He promoted the election nonsense. He was as like anti-civil rights as you could be on Fox News. Yeah, he is. Christian nationalist, white nationalist. Tucker has been all of that. That's silly to say he's not on the far right. He's not Nick Fuentes. He's somewhere left of Nick Fuentes, but he's out there on the right.
He's an agent for Peter Thiel, and I've maintained that position.
Peter Thiel being the billionaire
Palantir,
quote unquote libertarian right winger.
Yeah, now Argentinian national, newly minted. And I think that a lot of his opinion, whether it's sincere or not on Gaza, I can't dispute that, right? I don't know his heart. But what I can say is
what he said on Gaza has been good.
Yes, and he's been great on that issue for sure. I have no problems openly admitting that. He's a phenomenal communicator, and that's what makes him so dangerous from my perspective, because he has channeled and continues to channel a lot of white nationalist, white nativist, anti-immigrant stances, and that's something that I obviously oppose and find to be quite odious. But he's been great on Palestine now, and he's been pretty decent on Israel overall. Its influence on American foreign policy.
What's his agenda, Dark Knight? We're gonna stop this for a second. All these Hassans have their own agenda. You can say whatever you think my agenda is, or Hassan's agenda. I don't know if you know much about like being an individual human being, but yeah, we all have our own agenda. That's kind of how all this shit works. While I'm waiting for your answer there on what my agenda is or his, let me be clear on what I'm saying about Hassan. I don't give a fuck what Hassan wears. I don't give a fuck at all. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't change my opinion on anything that he says. There is a reality that there are people who consume politics in 30-second sound bites. And if you want somebody, like if Hassan wants to be listened to by that group of people or catch that group of people's attention, then if they're like, he's a communist, but he looks regular, and he's saying regular things and he doesn't look like a communist, there are certain people that are more likely to listen to that than others. Nobody's going to turn Hassan off because he's not dressed like a communist. But some people will turn him off because he's dressed like a communist. That's just reality. The extent of that reality, I don't know. The effectiveness of Hassan, you could maybe make the argument that the fact that he has on this is gaining more voters because people appreciate the ironic take that he has on communism, and maybe it does work. There's a certain group of people, and that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, does it do more harm than good? I don't really know the answer to that question. But there is a group of people who will look at this and be like, I'm out. And then there's another group of people who will be like, that's pretty fucking funny. The irony, I'm going to listen to him. I just don't know how that balances out.
On domestic policy. However, I've always maintained an arm's length.
Cranberry, I don't care about his clothes. Some people do. Me pointing out that people care about his clothes is just reality. Some people do care. Like, messaging matters. There's a reason people dress a certain way and present themselves a certain way in politics. It's just, it is just a reality. He made a choice to do this, I assume, ironically. That's a choice. He knows there's going to be a pushback in some area and there's going to be people that like it in the other area. All I'm trying to figure out is, like, is it better that he does this or not, or is it worse that he does this? Hey, come on, man. Like, this guy has millions of followers. Millions. It's okay to look at what he's doing and be like, is that the most effective thing? And he's going to make tons of mistakes, just like we all make tons of mistakes. I think sometimes we get a little defensive of the people that we follow.
Distance from Tucker.
Distrust.
And because I have this healthy distrust of Tucker, because I think that he will inevitably use the established credibility that he has as this anti-war Republican to launder the reputation of J.D. Vance, potentially.
I agree with you, and that's why I wanted to play this clip to you. I'm sure you've seen it, but let's get your reaction. This is Michal Hussein of Bloomberg interviewing Tucker Carlson.
Well, I think
that's why you make a point to yell at me once a stream. Fuck you, Ross. Do I think being condescending proves anything? No, that's not what you use for proof. That's just sometimes how I act when I get frustrated. Yeah, I choose to wear a big hat. It could be worse. I think there's probably people that come across the stream. They're like, this guy dresses like shit. I'm not taking him seriously. There's people that would probably take me more seriously if I was wearing a suit today. They'd be like, this guy's professional. I trust him. It's a choice we all make. That's all I'm saying. That's certainly a choice with Hassan. And because he's involved in politics, I just wonder. I wonder how the reaction is there. I don't know the answer to that question. Being dumb can be frustrating. I don't know. Republicans seem to hang on to it really well. Speaking of being dumb, we're going to talk about the catastrophic war of choice that we've had. Donald Trump, this is actually one of the sickest things I've seen him say. And see if you can catch it. This man lost his mind a long time ago, but he was always a sick fuck. And he has no problem using dead people to score political points, and using dead soldiers to try and score political points is pretty fucking gross.
Some of you are going with us to honor our heroes, and they are indeed great heroes.
Oh, by the way, he is going to a dignified transfer ceremony. I forgot to preface that. He's going here to welcome back the bodies of American service members killed in this war.
They said, and all of them said very strongly, we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. They won't have.
They said that? Let's hear that again.
They said, and all of them said very strongly, we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. They won't.
They did? Who said that? Which one of these dead soldiers said that? When did you talk to them? That's fucking gross. That's really fucking, yeah, there's no low for him, but this is pretty low even for him. That's pretty fucking low. To put words in the mouths of dead, but by the way, they all joined the military before you started this fucking war. It's not why they joined the military. That's really, really fucking low.
Have a nuclear weapon. So we're going to honor them.
Imagine having to salute a draft dodger. Yeah, that would suck. I don't envy those that are in the military.
No, they're doing that. That'll be released. You know what?
Lemdon, you wouldn't do any of this. Leftist pearl clutching makes me see the error of my ways. You wouldn't do any of this. Just because you don't react to anything Trump says, because you're too busy sucking his dick to notice anything that he says, you wouldn't do any of this. You would never stand in front of a camera at a dignified transfer and make up words of the dead soldiers said. This deflection from you guys is fucking pathetic all the time. Maybe it's not a big deal, and this isn't a big deal, right? Like if you knew Donald Trump was a piece of shit, you knew Donald Trump was a piece of shit. It's more evidence, and I'd like people to see that evidence. But there's not a single person in this chat who would do this. You don't have the guts to do this. You have to be a real sick fuck to do this. Again, there's a difference between caring and not caring. There's a difference between pearl clutching and letting things go. You can make an argument that way. But very few people on planet Earth would stand in front of microphones as they're about to receive the dead bodies of soldiers, with knowing their families are either there or are watching, and make up words about what those soldiers said. You wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. There's a lot of you that I think are fucking shitty in this chat, and you wouldn't do this. You probably don't know anybody that would do this. You probably don't have a single person in your life that you could honestly say would go in front of a microphone and do this shit. So spare me the deflection. Like, that's cowardly of you. This isn't good. It's not normal. It's not what a sane human would do. It's not what a good leader would do. You don't have to agree that it's a big deal, but to attack the people that are bringing it up when you know goddamn well you wouldn't do this is a little silly. Get rid of William Talenti. Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up. Leave. You got to go. You're banned for 24 hours. Don't also lie. They did say that. No, you're gone. You suck, man. This is your life, though, too. That's what's crazy about you. And before you leave, hopefully you hear this. This is your real life. This is what you really actually do. You go on the internet to piss people off. That sucks.
Well, they're going to pay a big price. They're being decimated.
Okay, Lemon Don, what's wrong with my framing? How am I misframing this? Let's go back to what he said. Let's get it in full context. How is this being misframed?
Are indeed great heroes, actually. They said, and all of them said very strongly, we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. They won't have.
All of them said very strongly, we can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's the quote. I haven't framed that. That's just the actual quote. What did he mean? Just explain to us how this is. I'll listen to your perspective. Frame this in a way that doesn't make him look like a psychopath. Oh, their lives were ended for nothing. Their lives were absolutely ended for nothing. It's for an unwarranted war. We were never like, Iran was not a threat to us, because you act like I'm supposed to be crippled. No. Oh, now you're oh, you bitch. God damn. I asked you about the framing. I'm not acting. I literally just said, here's the quote. Frame it for me. I'm not offering any framing here. I'm offering the quote. What's the framing here? I don't think you would be crippled by this comment. I think you would be crippled by a book with more than 90 pages. I think you'd be crippled by a 3-syllable word. I don't think you're going to be crippled by this, but explain the framing to me. Grabbing at the bottom of the trash can? One, that's not a fucking saying, John. Nobody has ever said you're grabbing at, you said grobbing, by the way, grobbing at the bottom of the trash can. That's not a saying. And 2, we're talking about Trump, so I guess he's the bottom of the trash can. That didn't make any sense. Lemon, you're the one pearl clutching. Oh, so you're still going to be a bitch. Okay, gotcha. I asked you to frame this for me, and you're going to talk about me. Yeah, this is what you guys do every time. Every time we ask you guys to, like, explain your position, my only position is that I don't like you. Yeah, we get it. God damn. Is there ever going to be one of you guys who can just answer a fucking question? Or are you all Timu Pete Hegseth? I'm never going to answer questions. Crazy. Try so hard to get you guys involved.
A nuclear weapon. So we're going to honor them.
Sorry, he said grobbling. Sorry, grobbling. Thank you, Token.
No, they're doing that. That'll be released. You know what? I don't know. Well, they're going to pay a big price.
Yeah, sure. Thank you to the soldiers for willing to risk yourself for the dumbest fucking government ever. Nobody's criticizing the soldiers here, John. We're criticizing the president. Stop changing the subject. My entire argument is that I should care about your pearl clutching. No, I'm asking you one more time, Lemon Don, and this is your last chance. I'll do it slowly. I am asking you to frame his words in a way that doesn't make it sound insane, right? So you can either say, I don't know how to do that, I'm not going to do that, or you can explain a way to frame that where it's not insane. This is not that hard. This is very, very simple. Stop answering questions I'm not asking. Just explain to me how we would frame this differently. Where are the errors of my way? I don't give a fuck if you agree with me. I'm actually asking you currently to disagree with me. Can you, I'm literally saying, can you disagree with me? And you're like, you just don't want me to disagree with you. Could you please disagree with me? Yeah, you just want me to accept your argument. No, please disagree with me. Oh, no. I'm asking you to disagree with me right now. Can you please disagree with me? While we're waiting, fun fact, your dad's dead. Fun fact, I'm a necrophiliac. Blue Chew, give me all the dicks. Those are fun facts. That's the framing. You're pearl-clutching that him saying that he talked to these people, saying that didn't want Iran to have nukes as some sort of winning strategy that should have swayed me from. No, all right, you're too stupid for this, from being conservative. All right, you got a 5-minute ban. Go and think about what you did. Rewind what I just asked. I asked you to disagree with me, and you're still just like criticizing. I'm literally not asking you to criticize my framing of it. I'm asking for your framing of it, and your framing of it seems to be that you're offended by my framing of it, I guess. Alex said, it's not a communist suit. Don't do a tan suit thing. It's communist adjacent. How dare you? How dare you? Everything about Hassan's suit screams classless, stateless, currencyless.
They're being decimated.
Is that report inaccurate?
Yeah, please.
Sir, what did you say to families of these?
So we shouldn't help liberate dictator-run countries like North Korea? No, we should not. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, Americans aren't against the war. A poll just came out. Americans don't want high gasoline prices, but they're not against the war. That just came out loud and clear in a poll. Nobody.
Let's see. What are the latest polls on? Give me the latest polling from Republicans on support for the Iran war. All right, this is from July 18th. Which one's this? Okay, this is a YouGov poll. Let's see if you got it right. Let's in hindsight, do you think the decision to go to war in Iran was right? The right decision or wrong decision? 63% of Republicans say it was the right decision. Okay. MAGA Republicans are at 77, non-MAGA at 31. Say so. Wow, it's like it's all held up by MAGA. All right, let's go back to what he said here.
Well, Americans aren't against the war. A poll just came out. Americans don't want high gasoline prices, but they're not against the war. That just came out loud and clear.
Wait, sorry, I thought we were doing just Republicans. Hold on one second. Let's pull that right back up. Total here. 57% say it was the wrong decision. 16% not sure. 20 so yeah. It's wrong about that.
Clear in a poll. Nobody wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Do you want Iran to have a nuclear weapon? You think it's good?
Iran doesn't want to have a nuclear weapon. They keep agreeing to not have nuclear weapons. Trump's like, hey, you have to agree to not have a nuclear weapon. And they're like, okay, cool. And then the next week, he's like, you have to agree to not have a nuclear weapon. And they're like, okay, cool. Here's the history of Donald Trump and Iran. Donald Trump enters office where there's an agreement in place where Iran says, we will not get a nuclear weapon. And then Donald Trump says, that's a bad agreement. I'm going to rip that agreement up. Then Trump starts threatening Iran in his second term and says, if you get a nuclear weapon, we're going to invade you. And Iran, speaking through the Qataris and the Omanis who were facilitating a negotiation, repeatedly agreed to not obtain a nuclear weapon. That was confirmed by the Omanis. That was confirmed by the Qataris. That was confirmed by our own negotiators and the Iranian negotiators, that they had agreed to not have a nuclear weapon, and then we bombed them. And then we bombed them for a while. And during that bombing, there were ceasefires, and they were like, you have to agree to not have a nuclear weapon. And they were like, cool, we won't have a nuclear weapon. And then the ceasefire ended, and we would bomb them again. And then we had a memorandum of understanding where they again agreed that they would not get a nuclear weapon. Literally every step of the way, Iran has said, we will not get one. They have never had one. There's no evidence that they were close. The only thing we know is their uranium had been enriched, which they've also agreed to stop doing. They've agreed to all of this 1,000,000 times. They've been saying death to America for almost 50 years. Who? Who said that? Name one person in Iran that said it. I know some people have said it, but don't you think we should wait until they try death to America? Like we should just murder people because they chant something, because some people in Iran chanted something? They chanted it. Let's go blow them up. Did they attack us on American soil? No, they haven't done anything like that. Oh, okay. So let's just invade. It is a low bar for you guys to murder people. They said something I didn't like. Go bomb a school. Go kill them. Kill them. Our Secretary of Defense said kill all Muslims. Do they have every right to kill him? How is kill all Muslims and death to America not the same thing? I think it's hilarious how the left is against billionaires, yet they keep buying Teslas. I got news for you, bud. Tesla's not doing very well, especially with progressives. Tesla's sales are dropping. I have an electric vehicle, and I specifically did not buy a Tesla. And I did test drive a Tesla, and it sucked. I was going to buy a used one, so I didn't really care. It's not like it was more money going to Elon. What are we doing here? It's a Nehru jacket named after the leader of India. Okay, God. Listen, I know there's no such thing as a communist jacket. I'm just simply saying that it looks like a communist jacket, and it was a choice that he made. God damn, we're still on that. I'm sorry. I'm probably unking on this one. Feels like my life is being played with like a sim. Yeah. Imagine having to... Oh, I got that one. How did I get my live restricted? Sorry, on TikTok, our live visibility is restricted. We just got another warning there. Probably for talking about Hassan's jacket. All right. We'll end it there. So we got that polling wrong. We got 1148. Perfect. Okay. Let's talk about the Iran war. Energy Secretary Wright went on with is it Jeremy? I always forget his name. Is it Jeremy Carl? That can't be right. ABC This Week. I forget his first name. And he's being now all of these people that were on the record saying that this war in Iran was going to be quick are having to figure out some way to spin this.
You were on this show back in March, and I want to play something of what you...
Wait, so what should we do with those who said to do bad things to Mike Pence on January 6th? Ignore it, Amy Lynn. You ignore it, and you only worry about things that that you want to worry about. It's called being conservative. It's kind of a cool gig.
You said about how long this war would last.
Who ordained white supremacy? I don't think it was ordained. I think that's a religious process, you silly goose.
I think that this conflict will certainly come to the end in the next few weeks. Could be...
That was March 15th. Definitely didn't happen in the next few weeks.
Sooner than that.
So you said it would certainly come to an end within a few weeks. We are now nearly...
Communism is a unicorn fantasy. It's not. It's kind of an economic theory. Unicorns aren't real.
5 months into this war. How does it end? When does it end?
Well, the plan, we needed 4 to 6 weeks for military actions. They went for 5.5 weeks. We did a pause to try to get an agreement with the Iranian people to allow oil to flow without them attacking it. They've proven unwilling to do that, and we've pivoted. Now what we're doing is assuring that oil and gas and other products can flow through the Strait of Hormuz with or without Iranian cooperation.
So it didn't end in a few weeks. I'm with you, Ramboni. If I find a unicorn, I'm riding it. Hopefully not in the same way as some of you Southerners.
And we've continued to degrade their offensive military capabilities.
So it didn't certainly end in the next few weeks then?
The president is always looking for the diplomatic off-ramp. President Trump wants to end it with a peaceful agreement with Iran, but it takes two parties to do that. If they're ready to do that, that's the way it'll end.
It seems like they were ready to do that. Illusion said duration, always the danger with attacking Iran. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah.
If not, we will continue to assure flow of traffic through the strait without Iran's cooperation.
But we're not seeing flow now, right? I mean, hasn't flow of traffic through this.
The transitional phrase from capitalism to communism is socialism. Are you a big Marxist over here? That's a theory. Some people think that. It's not a fact. That's why they're called theories. But I like where your head's at. I like that big Marxist over here. Somebody's been reading.
Strait of Hormuz effectively stopped over the past few days?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I get the data on that every day. The 7-day trailing average right now is just under 7 million barrels a day flowing through the waterway. And
who ordained American hegemony? Once again, that's religious. It's a religious ceremony, generally speaking. I don't think we do ordinations in our government.
Just under 7 million barrels a day, additional flow through the bypass pipelines. So we're at a little under 4.
My warm feeling is meaning nothing. That's true. My warm feeling is meaning nothing. But when your dad has a warm feeling, it's generally because I unloaded on his face. If you come to Bill's Auto Service, we will throw your tires back at your face 13 times. 13 times? Blue Chew. Can you get an erection anymore with all that rage? Just want to get that last one in.
15 million barrels a day from the Arabian Gulf region. That's 2/3 of pre-conflict traffic, dramatically up from where we were back in March when
Show somebody who flawlessly moves in between the Strait of Hormuz and Blue Chew ads like me. You won't find it anywhere on the internet. That's what you pay for here, folks.
I was last on your show. I mean, not 100% yet, but 2/3 of flow right now.
And that's over the past few days. When's that average? And what we saw, the numbers from Thursday were simply eight ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. That's far below.
So almost all the public data I've seen is incorrect.
Bro, it's 2026. We have satellites. You don't have better intel than everybody else. The United States government does not have better intel on which ships are moving through the straits than anybody else. There's satellites, bud. You can just watch it. Everybody is wrong except for us.
Flow through two routes through the Strait of Hormuz. There's up near the Iranian islands that's flow complicit with Iran, but that's not nothing. And then there's flow through the southern route that's protected by American infrastructure. And we count the volume of oil that goes through. The ship numbers are down more dramatically.
Oh, so that number was right on the ships? So you got, they say 8 million barrels of oil on, or 7 million barrels of oil on 8 ships? I doubt that. How much can one tank? Can a tanker take a billion barrels of, or I mean, 1 million barrels? I don't think he's telling the truth here.
But of course, we're flowing larger tankers now to keep the world markets as well supplied as we can. Gasoline.
I love this. Thank you, Annette. Communism is not. This is great. Thank you for being here, Annette. Communism is not a religion. It is a form of government. Wow. Okay, the stupidity of Democrats is really too much on this site. Need to go check my accounts and see how much money I made. Annette, you silly sausage. It's not a form of government. It's actually the absence of government. It abolishes government. I don't know how you make your money. I'm guessing somebody else manages it. But good Lord, you got all of that wrong. That was tough. That was tough to read out loud. I'm worried somebody will clip that and somebody will be like, I can't believe RTP said this. And I was just reading your comment. Somebody's going to clip that and they're going to be like, he doesn't know what communism is. And they're going to leave out this part where I'm like, Annette, that was silly. You silly goose. None of that made any sense. One tanker can haul 2 to 3 million barrels. Is that true? Holy fuck. All right, well, I take it back. Is that real? I'd say a bigger range, 80,000 to 3 million. Well, fuck me then. Yeah, maybe he got the numbers right. That's crazy. Thank you. Who got that fact check? Who had the fact check? Who was that? Daedalus. Thank you. Well done. Daedalus. Supertanker can house 2 million barrels. Knows what I know. All right. Well, maybe he's partially right there. Good job. Okay. Here's Matt Bracken. He is a former Navy SEAL and now a retired Navy SEAL and a geopolitical analyst. And this is why I think this is why Iran is still just holding out. This is why Iran's not going to capitulate to everything that we do. And I've yet to honestly see a military leader, somebody retired military with any sort of credibility or accreditation say anything different than this. But this is Matt Bracken, and I think Iran is willing to wait this out because they know that Americans will not support a ground invasion. And eventually it's going to come down to, are we going to nuke them or do a ground invasion or quit? And I think the Iranians are banking on, they're not going to nuke us. They're not going to do a ground invasion. We just have to wait them out.
Into Iran, I think that we will lose everybody we send in. The more that we send in, the more that we'll lose. And the Iranians have been very open about saying so, that, come on in. We welcome you. And in this era, because the only way we could get troops in there wouldn't be by ship. So the idea of just having battleships.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Communism is a form of government. Look it up. Got it. Sorry, we'll do this real quick, then we'll leave communism. We have to do this every day. Communism is a political and economic ideology, not a form of government, that aims to establish a classless, stateless society based on the common ownership of the means of production. It advocates for the elimination of private property, so wealth is distributed based on individual need. Huh. What's this stateless thing? What's that stateless thing right there? What's that? Government? Right? Yeah, so it's not, right? It's the abolishment of government.
It's pounding Karg Island or Keshem Island and then landing Marines in landing craft or these tracked amphibious vehicles. That can't happen because we can't even bring our ships through the Strait of Hormuz or near the Strait of Hormuz. So it would have to be by Ospreys, which would be the first option. And so an Osprey is a twin-engine tilt rotor that takes off the wings turn vertically and the two gigantic sets of propellers lifted straight up. Then these nacelles go forward and it flies like an airplane. Why that's important is they fly twice as fast as a helicopter and twice as far, almost twice as fast, but their range is much greater. That's what we have on our amphibious ships offshore, these Ospreys, but they only carry 24 Marines and 4 crew. So 28.
So we're going to invade 24 at a time. That's the plan, and that's not the least of it. That's the first problem. This might be boring for some of you. I found this really illuminating. A lot of people have, I've been kind of under the impression we're not going to do a ground invasion in Iran because it doesn't make any sense. We're going to lose a lot of lives and it's difficult. The terrain is problematic, but there's way more to it than I knew.
Marines are on this aircraft. Anybody with a shoulder launched anti-aircraft missile, a man-pad missile, can take that can fire on that very easily. While it is coming in, it has to transition from forward flight to hovering mode, and it's a big target then. It would be fine if you were fighting in Venezuela or Grenada or maybe Libya. But against Iran, it's a suicide mission because they've prepared these islands for years. In fact, Keshem, they call it Missile City. It's the entire underground of Keshem is a warren of tunnels, and the surface of Keshem is tougher than the surface of the moon.
Mute John for 5 minutes. John, we're not talking about Joe Biden. You have to talk about this stuff right now. 5-minute mute for John. No whataboutisms. I'm going to deport people for the next little while. I need you guys to focus on this information, Republicans, and sometimes we have to put you in timeout in order to get you to do that.
Just anybody can look on Google satellite.
K-Dog, stay on topic, okay? 5 minutes for you as well. So you're one chance.
View and go down to Street View and virtually drive around Keshem Island and think you're a Marine. You've got to attack across that terrain. It looks like another planet. It's so rugged. It's a tourist attraction because the geology is so extreme on Keshem. And Karg Island, Little Karg Island, is so critical, you have to assume that it's been totally tunneled and mined and prepared with booby traps and ambushes. And
This
the
is
Iranian
crazy. This is actually crazy. I've never looked at Keshem. This is what it looks like. Yeah, that's some brutal fucking terrain. It's tough. Nowhere to hide. Nowhere to get shade. Doesn't seem great. It's right here. Even the cities are built in. Yeah, some tough terrain.
understand they can't reinforce their coastal area or these islands. So everything that they need for the defense of these islands is on these islands.
K-Dog. This is a retired Navy SEAL talking about how it would be suicide for the United States to stage a ground invasion in Iran. And if you're asking yourself, and you may find yourself asking yourself this question, why don't we just invade Iran rather than shoot missiles at them and accomplish nothing? This might help you understand, as a former Navy SEAL and now a geopolitical analyst, maybe this is why we're not invading Iran. Maybe you start to think, maybe we thought that they would just roll over. Maybe we thought that we could just bomb them and they'd be like, here, take what you want. And now they're not. We got a bit of a problem here because we would like them to quit, and they're like, we're not going to quit. You either have to nuke us or invade us. And we're like, fuck. We don't really have the support for either of those two things. And it doesn't make sense to do either of those things because we could just leave and the whole thing would be over. But they're not going to attack us. We could just leave.
Been preparing for this. They know that so taking out a couple bridges in the hinterland of Iran north of the Strait of Hormuz is like meaningless because they would never have a defense strategy that depended on sending truckloads of reinforcements. And to me, this is
look north. Okay, north. Thanks.
It's complete madness to think about landing troops here. We don't have anything.
Thank you. It is a great idea. Just leave. We should just go home. That's what we did in Vietnam. We should just be like, see ya. Nothing bad would happen. There would be no repercussions for us just going home, except for Israel be like, come on, man. I thought we were bombing them together, man. I thought we were in this together. Other than that, it's not going to hurt us. We're just going to lose a friend momentarily with Israel, which I'd argue, bad friend, gets us into too many fights.
Like the force that we had in World War II or even Vietnam. And in both of those wars, we had conscription. And the Americans, for most of the Vietnam War, most Americans supported the war until, say, 67 or 68.
No nukes for terrorists. They don't have nukes. They agreed to not have nukes. We can go home now. They agreed not to have nukes. Stop saying dumb shit. They said we won't have nukes. So let's just go home then. They said they wouldn't.
Most Americans were still patriotic.
Nothing bad would happen. It can only good happen.
They believed we were fighting the communists, that we had to stop them in South Vietnam. Only by the later part of the 60s did the feeling really turn against the war. In America now, the feeling is already against this war, that we started in a dishonorable way with sneak attacks. So there's already no patriotic fervor for this war. And we have no conscription. How would we raise a 500,000 man army today? We couldn't possibly.
Yeah. Let's just go home. Just a reminder, guys, we are crowdfunded. We got about an hour left of the live today. If you want to help us knock out the remaining balance of that gift goal, that'd be greatly appreciated. Brittany said, for another Blue Chew ad, please. This is going to be a PSA and Blue Chew. You can do a Kegel experience. What you want to do, Lispy, is you want to pretend like you're stopping your pee, okay? Like, you know how you can cut off your pee when you're peeing? Do that even when you're not peeing, and that'll strengthen the muscles there, and it'll stop you from having a quick finish. Tips from RTP. It's important. Top tier technique. I agree with that. You got to get it done. Sorry, I was looking for a comment that I was going to respond to, and I can't remember what it was. It's all about the oil. I think it's not even about that. It's all about pride. It's literally just ego now at this point, and probably like Islamophobia. Those two things mixed in. It's popular in this country. Unfortunately, in this country, it's popular if you bomb brown people. Like, just generally, Americans are going to be like, yeah, it's in the Middle East. Yeah, we'll do that. There's Muslims, majority Muslim. Yeah, we'll go ahead and bomb them. That's fine. We'll believe anything without any evidence whatsoever. We need a tip channel for RTP and Discord. Yeah, let's do that. Remember, we'll do it for members only. We'll do tips. On TikTok Live, thank you guys, Johnny, Ra Lee, Christina, Aquita, and Dolphin for being the top gifters over there on TikTok. I know they're not driving traffic towards us, so I appreciate you guys helping us stay alive over there. You're doing the Lord's work. Back to the outline here. Here is Homeland Security Secretary discussing his previous claims here, that Mark Wayne Mullen, his previous claims of we don't do regime change. And God bless Mark Wayne Mullen. He's just not equipped for this. We say it every time we show him. He's got an Oklahoma education, and it shows. This man's ability to take a position, be wrong about that position, be confronted with being wrong about that position, and then getting out by just saying that it's not the same. It needs to be studied. This man's level of confidence for how wrong he is, how often, is astounding. It's honestly, like, it's impressive. I think it does need to be studied. It would be nice to live this way. Every time he's wrong, he's more convinced that he's right.
No, well, as we know, the president doesn't bluff. He moves on his own time. Everything that he has said, he's able to do.
He literally bluffs always. He has threatened the total destruction of Iran like 30 times. He has tacoed on tariffs hundreds of times. He does this nonstop.
And I believe these will be very coordinated, direct strikes. Remember, our military is always in the position to give the president options. We knew this was a possibility, even though we're not into regime change. We're not, this isn't the...
We've taken two significant military actions since Trump has been in office, and both of them have been regime change.
Arab Spring, like happened underneath Secretary Clinton, but this is the people of Iran standing up to a murderous regime. And if that leadership is going to kill their own people, the president said, we'll come to your rescue.
But you just said you...
So regime change. We're not into regime change. And let me explain what we're doing. We're taking a current regime that we don't like, and we're changing them, which is totally in line with our anti-regime change rhetoric and promises.
You are for regime change here.
No, I said I'm for the strikes. I didn't say...
You said before
Are you saying a certificate in construction from a community college doesn't show you're qualified to head the Department of Homeland Security? Yeah, I mean, that was his best qualification, too.
You're for taking out the regime.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're the ones murdering their own people. That's different than regime change. The regime change is up to the Iranian people. We're not going active.
If there is a regime or a leadership group and you kill that leadership group, it necessitates a regime change. And yes, the Iranian people will maybe dictate who that next leader is. We do also know that the Americans tried to install their own leader. It's the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security right there. This is insane.
To remove the regime, we're going after the people that are killing their own people, and that happens to be the regime.
But just to be clear, you support taking out the supreme leader.
If he's the one that's calling these airstrikes or the killings of his own people, then absolutely.
He's already dead. He died already. We already killed him.
Okay, but that would be regime change.
At that point, the Iranian people have spoke. They want a regime.
The fuck do you mean at that point? He's dead. Somebody's got to tell him we already killed him. We already did the regime change. We already did the kill. Does he not know?
regime change. It's obviously they want regime change. You see them. The president has warned them, do not kill your own people. He's gave them an opportunity. Right now, if the supreme leader wants to leave. I'm sure Russia will.
He's dead. We killed him. We killed him. He's dead. We did the regime change. It's a different regime now. He was a senator. Before he was leading the Department of Homeland Security, this was a senator who got classified briefings.
Welcome you. But the Iranian people do not want you there. They're tired of your oppression on the Iranian people, and they want their country back.
What happens to
So we kill their leaders for regime change. I don't know what to do about this. Secretary Hegseth and Mike Waltz and General Kane all testified before different bodies yesterday in the Senate. Big W for the Republican here, Senator Kennedy, and is done. Just like, guys, can you please give us answers? I know that the Republicans that are in this chat every single day, like, you do not care at all if they answer questions. I know that we do this every day. In fact, your favorite thing is when they avoid answering questions. When you can be in the chat and be like, yeah, shouldn't ask stupid questions, then that's like your favorite thing. I think that's how you finish. But Kennedy's had enough of it.
Will they put tolls on the strait?
I don't know, sir. That's a decision that's a hypothetical and will depend on what happens
It's not
in the future.
hypothetical. We got a blockade to stop them.
We do, sir. That's
General,
putting
I want you
economic
to look
pressure
me in
on
the eye.
Iran.
I'm not asking you for, I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I know your advice to the president is private, but this is serious as 4 heart attacks and a stroke.
That's a lot. That's more than took out Lindsey Graham.
Now, what happens if we come home and end the blockade to the world?
Sir, Iran has the potential.
Okay, listen for the answer. What happens if we just quit? What if we just come home? What's going to happen here?
World.
Sir, Iran has the potential to continue to be a threat, and we will need to prepare military
Will they
options
toll
to do
the
that.
strait?
Sir, that's a hypothetical.
They weren't a threat, but they weren't a threat. What do you mean they'll continue to be a threat to who? To Israel? Not to us. Certainly not us, right?
Hypothetical question, and I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, it's not hypothetical. We come home. It's not going to be hypothetical. You know that, General, and I do too. And I appreciate your discretion, but we're down to it. We need some hard answers and some straight talk. What'll happen, Pete?
It's calling him Pete now.
Senator, I would agree with the chairman, but the likely outcome is they would try to impose their will on the waterways in ways that.
Then why didn't they before? How come they didn't impose their will on the waterways before? Seems like the control of the Strait of Hormuz is just a leverage that they have because we're bombing the fuck out of them. Like, just honestly, where would this intelligence even come from? Let's walk through that. Who are they getting this intel from? Iran? Is Iran telling them, "Hey, if you leave, we're gonna take over the Strait of Hormuz"? These are just guesses, and there's no history to say that Iran would do that. But even if they do, like, then fight that battle. But can we just go home, please? Let's just go home. This is fucking stupid. This is so fucking stupid. We're at war for no goddamn reason. Watch, Republicans, tell us why we're at war. None of them are going to say what Trump says, by the way. Republicans, why should we keep fighting this war?
That the world would not like. Call it a toll, call it a fee, call it an exchange, call it control. They would do something that they would try to hold it at issue. Yes, sir.
Would they try to commence development again of a nuclear warhead?
Part of the reason President Trump had to have the courage to do what he did after Midnight Hammer is that.
Are they going to get a warhead? Hold on. I got to throat Donald Trump real fast. So fucking stupid.
They didn't give up their ambitions even though their nuclear sites had been obliterated. So this is a regime hell-bent on.
One more thing. What the fuck does that mean? What the goddamn fuck does that mean? They keep saying, we took away all their ability to build a nuclear weapon. So why are we still bombing them? Because they still have ambitions. What'd you read, a fucking dream journal? Did they put up like a vision board that you came across? How did you come to this conclusion that they still wanted nuclear weapons? Where did you get this information? You completely decimated their nuclear capabilities. You're like, but they still want one. How'd you find that out? What intelligence are you relying on? Are we bombing them because they have feelings that they would like to have a nuclear weapon someday? What the fuck is this? This is the dumbest fucking assembly of dipshits ever to run our government. They're literally telling you, they want it though. We got to keep killing them because they can't make a nuclear weapon. We totally decimated their military and their nuclear program. None of it is functional anymore, but deep down they still want it, so we're going to keep killing them. And Republicans are like, oh, that sounds good. We're going to keep following that. Let's just guess how they're feeling. Let's bomb people based on how they're feeling now. What the goddamn fuck is this? In front of the Senate? You just gonna come there and be, well, we feel like they still had strong feelings.
Commence development again of a nuclear warhead?
Part of the reason President Trump had to have the courage to do what he did after Midnight Hammer is that they didn't give up their ambitions even though their nuclear sites had been obliterated. So
Stop being an idiot! Yeah, just explain it to me. That's every Republican every time. I don't like that this guy is pointing out that they're not giving us any sort of answers. This makes me uncomfortable. Where do you get the intelligence that they really, really want it? Are we intercepting their letters to Santa? You see this? You see this? The Ayatollah says he wants Grand Theft Auto and a new laptop and nuclear weapons. Ah, boy, we gotta bomb them again. What is this? This isn't testimony. This isn't intelligence. This is just a guy that has a stated goal of kill all Muslims. Like, I have a feeling that if we don't keep killing them, they're going to want a nuclear weapon.
this is a regime hell-bent on nuclear ambitions, and
Guys,
President Trump's been
we need
willing to
straight
go after
answers. We need straight answers. Do we have the ability to destroy whatever is underneath Pickaxe Mountain?
Senator, a lot of our capabilities are classified, but if anybody in the world can reach anything on God's green earth, it's the United States military, the most powerful military in the world. It's all about options and trade-offs.
All right. I'm going to take a
Huh? How are you guys comfortable with these answers? Pete Hexeth is incredibly dumb for a person who has been speaking about politics for a long time. What the fuck did that even mean? I dare you guys to explain it to me. All right, here's Representative Lou. He gets Mike Waltz. It's important to remember that Mike Waltz got fired from his last job, and now he is he's an ambassador, UN ambassador. But he was shitty at his last job, and he got fired. And here Mike Waltz is getting embarrassed by Representative Lou. It's just going to get worse for the rest of the day. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to say some shit. Sorry, Republic, you're going to hate me. I'm going to be very animated, frustrated, and triggered, whatever words you want to say. Like all those words that you normally say, they're about to come out. So get them ready.
Being here today, my questions will be for Ambassador Waltz. American service members are in the Middle East risking their lives in the war with Iran. How many U.S. troops have been wounded in the Iran war?
My understanding from the Defense Department's latest numbers is over 100, but about 70% or 90% of those have immediately returned to duty.
Yeah. Want to guess how close that number is?
Okay. That number is wrong. According to the Defense Casualty Analysis System, 482 American troops.
Close. It's 100, 482. Close.
Been wounded. Now, it's not surprising to me that you did not know the answer to that. The reason you are here today and in your position is because you were fired by the president from your former position as National Security Advisor.
True.
You
President has never said a negative word about me. I just saw him
classified information that
He likes me. Don't you dare say that. He really, really likes me. He never says any bad things
about me. You were fired. You think they fired you because you were doing a bang-up job? You think they gave you a different job as ambassador to the UN, which is largely ceremonial? You think that they took you off intelligence and made you an ambassador because you were fucking killing it? He's too good at his job. We got to put somebody else in there.
Armed American pilots and put them at risk.
About me. That's your spin, I guess, for your next campaign commercial. I don't know.
How many American troops?
He sucks at this, by the way. He's going to try and land some lines. He's very happy with his lines every time. Brother, everybody has used that line ever. And by the way, if I was Representative Lou, I would absolutely use this as a campaign commercial. And I'd be like, look, here's Representative Lou showing how incompetent the Trump administration is. And then you'd be like, that's a good commercial. I'm thinking about voting for Representative Lou. That's a good, I'd run it. Dolphins, I just want to say that your stream is the only that I donate to consistently. I appreciate all that you do. I'm about to sound like a whiny bitch, but I was honored when you followed me on your main. Toss a follow again. Love you. The peach hoodie, great color. Thank you. I'll try and remember that. Can't do it right now.
Have been killed in the Iran war.
In these ongoing operations, 18.
Okay. Now, President Trump has repeatedly stated that Iran's military was obliterated. On March 16th, President Trump stated that Iran's
obliterated. But they got some feelings, okay? We have not obliterated their feelings. We have not obliterated their wish lists. We have not obliterated their hopes and dreams, which is really, when you think about it, the scariest thing. Iranian hopes and dreams. We cannot survive as a country while Iranians have hopes and dreams. IMFRCD said, Antifa dudes, can anybody tell me where the clubhouse is located? We're going to have to do that in the Discord. You know, that's a secret location.
Military was, quote, literally obliterated, end quote. How is it possible that 482 American troops have been wounded and 18 service members killed by an Iranian military that's been purportedly obliterated?
The Iranian Navy, Air Force, air defense system, and industrial capacity have been massively damaged, if not completely ineffective.
So not obliterated, right? Like not obliterated, though.
But this is a state that is trying to reconstitute. This is a regime that is obsessed with a nuclear weapon.
They're not. They're just not. There's no evidence that they are obsessed with the nuclear weapon. There's give it to me, Republicans. Give me some fucking evidence that they want a nuclear weapon. Ready, go. Evidence. Give me any evidence that they want a nuclear weapon. Ready, go.
And it's a regime that still maintains some missile and drone capability that it's firing on all of its neighbors, including our bases.
They still have missiles. Yeah, you negotiated that into the MOU. The United States said you can keep your weapons. Donald Trump publicly a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, is on camera going, what am I going to do? Tell them they can't keep their weapons? Of course they can keep their weapons. Israel has weapons. They have enemies. I'm going to tell them they can't protect themselves? Yeah, catch up, bitch. Maybe this is why you got fired as intelligence. Maybe this is why you got this ceremonial role. You don't even have the talking points right. Donald Trump and the people negotiating were like, yeah, you can keep your weapons. They still have weapons. That's why we have to bomb them. Then why did you agree to let them keep their weapons?
I think that's a pretty common sense.
Oh, you sniffed it out, John Cena. You sniffed out that these are leftists. I heard all the words, and I was like, those are big words. And I couldn't hear just like the sucking of Donald Trump's dick, and I was like, when I go to MAGA streams, it's just all sucking. This sounds different to me. This must be a leftist stream.
Valuation, but if I need to explain it to you further, I can.
You need to explain to American people how an Iranian military that's been purportedly obliterated.
How can you even see him?
Killed 18 U.S. service members and wounded 482
As you know, 7 of those service
members
died in a plane crash.
Let me finish my question.
Why? All right. Like 18 service members have died. I'm not laughing at the people that died. I'm laughing at fucking Mike Waltz here. Yeah, well, 7 of them were in a plane crash. That's not a flex. Yeah, we crashed one of our own planes in Iraq, and those people didn't need to be there or be on a plane. They should have been training or home with their families somewhere safe, and they died instead. Yeah, well, Iran didn't get those 7. Our own incompetence did. Great. Why are you smiling at that, you dumb bitch?
And has struck.
I don't think we have the full details on that. Basically, the military has said that it was a failure by our own military self, and there was another plane that was like involved in it. I can't remember the details. There was another plane that like landed safely. I can't remember exactly what happened. Does anybody remember exactly what happened? I don't know if they ran into each other or what, but yeah, like they shouldn't have been there. They still died, and they were only there because of this war. So I don't know why that's like a gotcha for Mike Waltz. It was a midair collision. Is that true?
Multiple U.S. facilities in the Middle East repeatedly. So I'm going to show you a video from Jordan, and this is an Iranian.
Natalie said a guy. Sorry, actually, let's get this video.
If, we could play the video, that would be great.
We'll have the video in a second. Natalie said a guy walks into a costume party wearing nothing but a pair of jeans. The host asks him what he's dressed as. I'm a premature ejaculation, the guy says. I don't understand your costume. Well, I just came in my pants. You can do a Kegel experience. What you want to do, Lispy, is you want to pretend like you're stopping your pee. Okay, like you know how you can cut off your pee when you're peeing. Do that even when you're not peeing, and that'll strengthen the muscles there, and it'll stop you from having a quick finish. Tips from RTP. Okay. All right, let's watch this video. How pumped would you be, Jeff Bardis, right now? Thank God he's not asking me questions.
Thank you. I would hope the Republican-controlled Foreign Affairs Committee would know how to use audio next time, but we did see the video, and it showed multiple missiles hitting this base in Jordan. Let me tell you what happened. It was disclosed later that 2 U.S. troops died in that strike from a purportedly obliterated Iranian military, and this is what Donald Trump said. He said that the Iranians, quote, did slip something through in Jordan, and if we had other operators, it would not have happened. He then went on to say, when you let other people do your job, with the United States, we let other people do a job, and sometimes it doesn't work out so well. So let me ask you this question. Do we still have American troops stationed in Jordan right now?
Doesn't surprise me that you're referring to Al Jazeera in terms.
Quoted the president. This is why he lost his last job, okay? Even for MAGA, he's fucking dumb. Even for MAGA, he's dumb. Hey, John, you're fighting with an actual bot. I don't know if you know this. I'm trying to help you. You're fighting with an actual AI bot right now. This is incredible. That's good. That's MAGA. All right, anyways.
In terms of your video, I'm here as the UN ambassador, but I'm happy to refer you to Pete Hegseth, Secretary Hegseth's testimony yesterday. Of course, we still have.
In your opening statement, you bragged about doing a Security Council resolution on Iran. So yes, Iran is in your job responsibility. Focus on it and focus on the troops that have been wounded and killed. Do not be so callous with the safety and lives of American troops. I'm going to ask you again: Are U.S. troops currently stationed? Are U.S. troops currently stationed in Jordan?
Moralized to me. Go back.
U.S. troops currently stationed in Jordan.
Try to get reelected.
I will.
Good one. Good one. How the fuck did you get that, Matt? Are there troops in Jordan? Try to get reelected. What the fuck is this? I tell you, he's so dumb. Yeah, to get fired, we just showed Mark Wayne Mullen, who got promoted as one of the dumbest people in Washington. Mike Waltz is one of the only people getting demoted. They're like, good Lord, man.
No.
You should try.
November is coming for you and this administration. Are U.S. troops stationed in Jordan? It's not even a trick question. Are they?
Of course they are.
Okay.
That's easy.
And if Donald Trump doesn't trust the Jordanians to protect U.S. troops, do you trust them? Who are we going to have protect U.S. troops? They are exposed right now in the Middle East, repeatedly being exposed to Iranian missiles,
when they died
and missile strikes and drones. You don't even know how many U.S. troops were wounded in this Iran war. Shame on you for not even know basic facts. You are the U.S. ambassador, and you don't.
But Joe Biden,
this dumb bitch. Answer the question.
Even know how many U.S. troops were wounded in the Iran war. You got that wrong. You should be shameful. You don't know basic facts. You should resign. You don't even.
This is going to be a theme. This is what people. This is how bad it has become. He didn't know something, right? He didn't know any of these answers. He lost his cool. Whatever. But listen for this line. Here's the line, and he's not going to be the only one.
You don't even know how many U.S. troops were wounded in the Iran war. You got that wrong. You should be shameful. You don't know basic facts. You should resign. You don't even care about the number of U.S. troops that were wounded. You did not know how many U.S. troops were wounded. You gave false information to Congress. You should be ashamed of yourself for not even knowing how many U.S. troops were wounded in the Iranian war.
The gentleman's word.
Did you hear him say, "You'll have Trump derangement syndrome"? Bitch, nobody was talking about Trump. It's just like everybody that comes into this chat when we're talking about any topic. They're like, all you do is hate Trump when we're not talking about Trump. You don't get to adopt his victimhood. Okay? If nobody cares enough to talk to you, that's on you. Nobody cares enough to talk about what you're doing. You don't get to just dismiss everything everybody says is you don't even like Trump, especially when you're not talking about Trump. Especially then.
Words should be taken down. You should not use such derogatory language for the distinguished ambassador. Seriously, I know you're upset, but you
in the last administration.
What was the derogatory language? Mike, hold on. Mike, do a full sentence, you dumb bitch.
But
nothing in the last administration. Zero. Politics and the worst of it.
Just like sentence fragments. Nothing. Last administration. Politics. What was that? That's what you came up with?
He lied to Congress.
Don't both sides of shit. Don't both sides of shit. Why do you listen? Let's just be honest about it. Don't both sides of this shit. This guy won't answer the fucking question. Don't get mad at the disrespect of Ted Lieu. He won't answer the fucking question. You be objective. You don't play both sides. Who's wrong in this scenario? Waltz. What's his job? Answer fucking questions. What's he not doing? Answering fucking questions. Who's at fault? He is. Don't both sides of this shit. Hold the people accountable that are doing the wrong thing. If you don't answer questions, people are going to get pissed. Do your fucking job. Ted Lieu's doing his job. Mike Waltz isn't. This is easy. This isn't a both sides thing. This person has to answer questions. This person has to answer questions. And every time you both sides it, you just kick it further down the road like that. We're just never going to get people answering questions anymore. What do you mean not sure about? What are you not sure about on that one? You don't think Ted Lieu was doing his job there? All right. Now here's Mike Waltz with Representative Polkan. Doesn't get better. And it doesn't get better just because...
I have not.
You have not. Okay.
Waltz is such a dummy.
No.
Did you get a chance to read the report that came out this week from the State Department on Cuba?
Thank you, Am Thistle, for the Antifa dues. Appreciate that.
95 pages.
I have not read the entire report, but as a native Floridian, I'm familiar with the antics and adversarial...
Gotcha.
Did you read the report on Cuba? No, but I grew up in Florida. What? That's a different fucking country, idiot. Yeah, well, it's the closest state to Cuba, so I basically know everything. That was his real answer. Want to hear it again?
Out this week from the State Department on Cuba, 95 pages.
I have not read the entire report, but as a native Floridian, I'm familiar with the antics and adversarial.
These hearings are performed with BS. Cool, but the people that show up at these hearings have to answer questions. They don't get to decide if the questions are performative or not. So I don't give a fuck if members of Congress are performative. They can use that time for whatever they want. But these people who are unelected, who answer to us, they should come and answer fucking questions. These people answer questions. You should criticize the people not answering questions.
But you haven't read the report. Gotcha. Can you explain to me, on July 7th, there was a vote in the UN to continue debate
Yes, I could see Russia from my house. It's the same thing.
about the U.S. blockade of Cuba.
By the way, that's a real look into the conservative mindset. Like, have you read anything? No. Do you have education? No, but I have a lot of big feelings. I have a lot of very strong opinions. So that's basically the same thing.
And we opposed that, and we kind of had an embarrassing defeat, 136-9 with 30 abstentions. But given what this report said, why are we afraid to have that debate if there's so much information we want to share with the world about Cuba? Why?
5 minutes for K-Dog. K-Dog, you have 5 minutes to go beat off to the whatever trans porn you want to, and then you can be back. We're not doing that shit.
Why did we
You get banned for this all the time. Stop thinking about trans people all the time. It's getting weird.
not extend
That's a
that
mischaracterization.
debate?
What we opposed was Cubans or others, for that matter, abusing the General Assembly to have the same debate over and over again.
It just
Cuba
seems that
has
if we
an
had
annual
such
debate, we
damning
accused it having a second.
information that this report claims to have, that
John, you argued for 20 minutes with a bot named Bot before you figured out it was a bot. I don't think you should be talking about other people being bright. It literally said bot, and you fought with it for 20 fucking minutes while everybody laughed at you. And now you're like, you guys aren't very smart. I would lay low for a bit if I were you.
that would be a great venue to have that. I guess my question is, it's been over 65 years.
Propaganda. That's
Gotcha.
what we oppose.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's been over 65 years that we've had essentially.
That's not better. I knew it was a bot. You argued with it. Well, okay, well, you're dumber. That's worse. It's worse that you knew it was a bot and you kept arguing with it. It's a bot. That's worse. That's not better for you, John. I fucking knew it. I was just practicing for when it was real people. That's what I do. Got to get those reps in.
This blockade, this embargo on Cuba, and have we moved closer to a democracy, steer them towards human rights? Has, as the other ambassador said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Has that 65 years brought us to where we want to be?
I would encourage you to read that report.
I did, and you didn't.
You already said.
I would encourage you to read that report, or be a native-born Floridian, in which case the knowledge comes to you through osmosis. It rises up from the swamps and comes in through your asshole. Those are your two options. You read the report, or you be a native Floridian. This is Mike Walls.
Read that report.
I did, and you didn't. I did, and you didn't. Correct. Yeah.
Oh no, I have not read it word for word, but I am very familiar as a native.
He goes back to it. I swear to God, he went back to it.
Word for word, but I am very familiar as a native Floridian.
I did too. I read
it.
I
haven't read it word for word or fucking at all. But remember, sir, I grew up in Florida, so I know everything about Cuba. That's the UN ambassador. That's a United States ambassador to the UN in front of the Senate saying, I don't have to read things. I'm from Florida. I was born here. I don't have to read shit. That's twice. He made the same argument twice. Like it was a good argument the first time. I don't read. I learn through birthright.
I've highlighted it. I felt like, you know what? I put on the Kinks and the Who, because everything's about the 60s and 70s in here. And then there's this giant jump to today.
A blockade is a ring of ships. A blockade is what we have right now in
This is a blockade of fuel, of medicine, of food, of supplies. Even in war, we allow medical supplies to go through. We don't allow medical supplies to go through to Cuba. So
it is a ring of ships. No, it's not. It doesn't have to even be ships. It's just isolate. It's just basically like physically isolating. So you don't have to have a ring ship. Just the threat of military intervention can be. You don't even have to have ships there. You can just be like, hey, you get close, we'll fly a plane over there. Why did he say, I don't know why he said that. I don't know. Blackney. I'm so happy to share this moment with you guys with Mike Waltz today. He made me happy, very happy. All right, how much time do we have? About 20 minutes. This will probably take up the rest of it. John Ossoff just absolutely
on day 14
decimates Pete Hegseth, and he comes off as the least interesting person you'll ever meet, but that's fine. If that's going to be your personality, stick with it. Pete Hegseth's not ready for John Ossoff. John Ossoff's a real problem for Republicans. He has that, like, it's going to sound fucked up, but he has like that debate bro voice, that unflinching demeanor, steady demeanor that Republican men get hard to. He doesn't show a lot of emotion. That's a real fucking problem because he has progressive ideas, but then he gets to those people whose dads never hugged him as well. He can kind of speak to both crowds. And he's speaking to somebody who probably wasn't hugged by his dad now, in Pete Hegseth, and it doesn't go well. Just a reminder, as we finish off the show today, this will be our last video. If you can help us knock out the remaining balance of that gift goal, that would be greatly appreciated. Jen will be guilt-tripping you. And then a reminder, tonight is our members-only event. If you're a paid subscriber through YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok, you can join us tonight in the Discord as we watch 2 more episodes of Life, Larry, and the Pursuit of Unhappiness. If you're not a member of the Discord to join it is free. And if you're a member and want to join us for that, just message JENNDUBB1 on Discord, and she'll make sure that you get in there and you have the proper permissions to watch the show with us tonight.
Of this conflict, Mr. Secretary, day 14, nearly 5 months ago, you stated that Iran's military had been, quote,
too broke to feel guilt at this point. I love that.
Destroyed and, quote, made combat ineffective.
I used to get hugged by his 2 dads. I had a dad and a mom, but speaking of 2 dads, tell your dad it was impressive how he took 2 dicks yesterday, Matt.
That was on day 14 of the war. Was that an accurate statement?
They didn't have a Navy any longer. It was completely sunk. Their missiles were buried underneath a lot of their underground facilities, and their defense industrial base has been almost completely destroyed. So as far as a military assessment of Iran's capabilities, it doesn't.
Thank you, Malika.
Didn't mean by any stretch of the imagination absolute zero, but their
Mr.
capabilities
Secretary,
at the lowest level
you
they've been in
stated
a very
that
long time.
on day 14 of this conflict, in the second week of the conflict, you stated that Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and, quote, made combat ineffective. Was that an accurate statement? Yes or no?
Iran's ability to challenge the United States of America at the level at which we're capable of.
That's not what I asked you, Mr. Secretary. You said on day 14, Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and, quote, made combat ineffective. Yes or no? Was that an accurate statement?
What the American military has done to the
question?
Iranian military is a historic military
Will you
defeat,
answer the
and they're
question?
ineffective.
What we have done is historic. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened, ever.
How dare you question that? Maybe just answer, though. Like, if we destroyed their military or not. That's all we really want to know, you dumb bitch.
In that context.
3 weeks later, you declared victory. That was now nearly 4 months ago. 3 weeks after you'd already said Iran's military was destroyed and combat ineffective, you said, quote, Operation Epic Fury was a historic and overwhelming victory. You said Iran's military had been rendered, quote, combat ineffective for years to come. And you stated we had, quote, achieved every single objective. Were those accurate statements?
It certainly was, on behalf of the men and women in uniform, a historic military victory over Iran.
Had Iran's military been...
Usually, when there's a victory, you go home after, though, right? So maybe it wasn't a victory. Jen Star said before we get the guilt trip from our Jen.
Rendered, quote, combat ineffective for years to come. That was a statement that you made 4 months ago.
They had 160 naval vessels
in the
Blue Water
questions,
Navy,
Mr.
and they're gone.
Secretary.
Their Air Force is
4 months
completely
ago,
combat ineffective, and they don't have a defense industrial base.
Excuse
so
me,
describe
Mr.
to me a
Secretary.
country that doesn't have an Air Force, a Navy, or a defense industrial base, and I will describe to you a country that does not have an effective
Mr.
military.
Secretary, you stated,
it can lob missiles.
Mr. Secretary, you stated
missiles,
4
but it's
months
not a
ago
combat-effective
that Iran's
military.
military had been rendered, quote, combat.
I actually think this is the right way to handle Hegseth. Just keep talking over him. Like, just keep asking the same question. This is not a strong man. This is not an honest man. This is not a strong leader. This is a dude out cosplaying Secretary of Defense. He's out there to get clicks. He's out there to sell a book. He's out there to make to be a social media influencer. He's honestly the most embarrassing Secretary of Defense we've ever had. There's never been ever in this country a Secretary of Defense who acted like this, like just a total petulant child. They have always been careful to appear nonpartisan. They show up, they answer questions. When they don't answer questions, they don't counterattack with political hits. He's just a thin-skinned bitch. Like all this administration. When you mirror the administration after Donald Trump, you're just going to get a bunch of little crybaby bitches who don't like any sort of accountability. It's the thing that they fear most.
Ineffective for years to come. Has Iran's military been, for the last 4 months, combat ineffective?
It's been set back not just years, but likely decades.
You stated we had, quote,
build at the level it did before, and not even close. It doesn't mean it doesn't have capabilities.
Mr. Secretary, you stated we had, quote, achieved every single objective. Was that an accurate statement 4 months ago?
The main objective of this was to ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. Their main sites were obliterated. We're watching over them, and we're holding them at issue. If they don't give them up at the table, there's other ways we can take them away.
Early in the conflict
Iran will
on
never
day
have a
3,
nuclear
Mr.
weapon.
Secretary, early in the conflict, day 3, you said one of those core objectives was to, quote, destroy the missile threat. And as you restated on day 5, to, quote, obliterate Iran's missiles and drones. Those were clearly and repeatedly stated core objectives of the campaign, which 4 months ago you declared had been completed victoriously with every single objective achieved. Were those objectives achieved 4 months ago?
No one ever stated that every single missile was gone. Ultimately, combat
That's not what he asked, though, right? He just asked if all your objectives were complete. He didn't say, is every single missile gone? But what does obliterated mean? Do words not have meaning anymore? Is that what we're upset about? It's just like, how do we ever know when we're done with war if they'll never answer questions like this? What's from stopping this going on for 30 years?
Effective means they're not able to dig them out of their UGFs and shoot
Had
at
the
us.
missile
It
threat
doesn't mean they
been
don't have
defeated 4
underground
months
facilities
ago?
where they put missiles in them and hold on to them because they're the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. So we never expected they would stop having capabilities.
Correction, we are the world's largest sponsor of state terrorism.
To shoot. The question is at scale against an opponent like the United States of America, which went toe-to-toe with them and Iran couldn't.
You stated on March 8th, day 9 of the war, on 60 Minutes, you assured the American people of Iranian surrender. Does that remain your prediction?
Ultimately, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon to threaten the United States of America.
This is what's called calling your bluff. This is why you don't go out there and talk this tough, because then you look like a fucking idiot. We will accept nothing more than surrender. Well, it's clear they're not going to surrender. Well, we don't want. What I meant by surrender is that we won't let them get nukes. Okay, cool. They didn't have nukes before, so by surrender you mean going back to where we were before? Cool.
Has been the objective, and it remains so.
So just to review, you will not answer whether your statement made on the 14th day of the war that Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and made combat ineffective was a truthful statement to the American people as you sit here and ask for tens of billions more for the conflict.
Senator's time has
Had a
expired.
historic and effective military campaign against the largest state sponsor of terrorism.
Won't answer the question.
I got to get my talking point out there one more time. It was historic. It was absolute. It was wonderful. It was magnificent. I come to it every night. You guys proud of this guy? This is making America look good. You know the rest of the world watches this shit, right? You know the rest of the world watches our military leaders not answer to the American people. And they're like, God damn, what's going on in America? And we think that too. And you guys are like, I love this. My entire political ideology is own the libs. Don't answer questions. Destroy the country to own the libs.
Weapon, Senator.
Is recognized.
The channel 2975. Don't do that. We don't do both sides in here. There's literally nothing I hate more than that. Shut up. Doesn't matter which president you like. It's just entertainment. No, they do real jobs. That's stupid. Both sides don't care about you. Go somewhere else, please. I don't want to have to ban you, but please don't do that. It's such a lazy, arrogant take. I hate it so much. Please don't do that. All right. I forgot that video wasn't 11 minutes. I forgot that the rest of that video was Brian Tyler Cohen. So we're going to skip that. Now, Senator Merkley with Ragin' Kane, General Kane here. We just want answers. I don't think it should be too much to ask for our leaders to just tell us the truth about what's going on in Iran, what the objectives are. There doesn't seem to be a plan. In fact, this is a good opportunity for MAGA in the chat. Tell us what the plan is. Going forward, what is the plan with Iran?
There are reports that we have hit the Bonzi desalination plant that provides water to about 20 villages or about 10,000 people, and we also damaged the desalination plant at Keshem Island. Were these deliberate targets by the United States?
So I'm not aware of those.
If we destroyed desalination plants and it wasn't on purpose, then it was incompetent. And we're committing incompetent war crimes rather than purposeful war crimes. For the record, I could absolutely see a scenario where we incompetently bombed a desalination plant. I also don't think any of our military leadership would have a problem committing war crimes. So it'd be cool to get an answer on this, which we're not going to get.
Being particular targets, nor am I aware of those reports, and I'll have to go back and get back to you on that.
If you could, I'd appreciate that. You are aware that infrastructure that civilians rely on to survive is not generally considered legitimate military target?
By the way, if anybody doesn't know what a desalination plant is, and no shame there, it's where they take salt water and turn it into fresh water. And if you look at the topography of Iran, fresh and the surrounding countries, fresh water is not easy to come by. So they use a process called desalination to create fresh water out of salt water, and it's what keeps them alive. So bombing these desalination plants literally means people don't have water and people will die.
Sir, as you know, we have a robust process,
And that's a war crime.
which considers a target that goes through a system that looks at a variety of considerations to include what you're alluding to around both.
Oxblack's going to hate on RTP a bit today. Been here for a while now. Since the first Blue Chew ad for Limp Magas, now the ads are all over my feeds, you asshole. That's my bad. I do feel bad about that.
Purely civilian or dual-use targets.
Great.
I have trust and confidence in CENTCOM that they're looking at the range of those things on a daily basis.
It sounds like you are assuring
So if
us.
it wasn't on purpose and you fully trust that they're doing things correctly, why do we bomb a desalination plant? I would like that follow up from Merkley. Then why'd we bomb it? How is it a war crime? Well, yeah, according to international law, it is a war crime. We don't follow. I mean, I guess if you're saying we don't care about international law and we commit war crimes all the time, I just agree with you. But international law says that's a war crime.
That we will, the United States, not target, even in retaliatory sense, infrastructure that is generally considered to be primarily for civilian survival.
So, as I mentioned, we have a robust process, and we have the most professional.
What do you mean you can't drink it? Yeah, you can. You can drink desalinated water. That's the point.
Military force.
It'd just
in
be
the world
nice
that
to have
follows
you
the
say
law.
yes, because this
That
is
follows the
international law.
Yes,
if
sir,
you
it follows
understand
the
the international law.
Are you saying if we bomb the desalination plant, then they can't drink the water? Is that what you're saying?
Do, sir. I've got a
Okay.
lot of lawyers that help me understand.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And will you get back to us on that
Yes, sir,
question of
of
whether we
course.
targeted the
Yes, sir.
desalination plants? And
Of
if
course.
so,
I mean, we're talking about people who think it's okay to kill anybody that's not part of their religion. I think you're thinking of Pete Hegseth. There's Christians in Iran, practicing Christians. So you're wrong about that. Shaka, how are you wrong about fucking everything, man? It's crazy. Like 100% of the time, you're wrong.
if so, why? My time.
All right. And then to, did I miss any? I think I got that one. Yeah. We'll just go a hair over, actually. Oh, well, let me see how long this is. Can't remember. Yeah, we'll do this. Adam Smith, this has gone viral. I'm one of the last people to cover it. I wanted to cover it yesterday and didn't get to it. This is Representative Adam Smith. I told you earlier we had him and he was looking good. Not as great now. But here he is with Crystal Ball about you have this divide in the Democratic Party. I don't think the divide is so much the voters, but the people who are funded by AIPAC and not funded by AIPAC, and a divide in this country. And I think Crystal Ball does an incredible job here. I think she's a great journalist. Does a good job pushing back, because at the end of the day, if you support Israel, you support ethno-supremacy. If you support the Jewish state, you support ethno-supremacy. And there's no real way to get around that. You support an ideology that we are better because of our birthright, which is by definition an ethno-state. That's the only way you can be a Zionist. So you can't really, like, it drives me nuts when people try and sit on the fence here. I personally don't think that there's any room for both of those views in the Democratic Party, but there is, and that's reality. But I want people's feet to be held to the fire like this, and Crystal Ball does a great job.
What Israel has historically been, okay? Israel was historically a democratic state in the middle of no democratic states. They were a very strong ally of the U.S. We partnered with them on a variety of different things, counterterrorism being the biggest thing during the ISIS.
So keep giving them hell, Jay. Thank you.
This fight and elsewhere. So you've got that historical relationship. And then you've got the reality of what Israel is living in. And that is that they are the only, well, except for Ukraine, they're the only country in the world, well, they're the only country in the world that from the day they were founded, people have been trying to eliminate them. I mean, there's no other country in the world that you know, Yemen and Saudi Arabia fought, but the Houthis never said that Saudi Arabia didn't.
Is that true? What about the United States? Have we not like basically been at war with somebody or had enemies? Like, what are you saying? Because people didn't like them? I don't think that that's true.
Have a right to exist. Okay, very existence wasn't on the line. You know, when Israel came into being, from that very moment, they have been attacked constantly. And yeah, it comes down to a fundamental question: does this?
Have they also attacked people constantly? Why is it only other people's fault?
Israel have a right to exist. Now, I'll tell you,
South Korea, good point. Thank you.
And this is absolutely the DSA position, is that they don't. Okay.
Well, let's pause on that. I want to get to the DSA, and I don't want to fight you on all of this, but I want you to get to your point out.
I got to get through this.
Yeah.
I got to get through this.
Okay.
So, you know, if you have a situation where Israel is threatened on all sides, and I know it's like, well, no.
This happened when we used to debate conservatives, or when I would get frustrated. And what I would consistently say is, in order to defend conservatism or republicanism, you have to be able to tell a story. And you have to have time to tell a story, and you have to link things together to create a narrative in order for it to make sense. The same can be said about Zionism. He has to do all of this legwork to then justify all the horrific things that he knows Crystal Ball is about to bring up. I would just say that horrific things are horrific things no matter what history says. There's no justification for genocide.
No, I'm not saying they don't have a right to exist, just they have to let all the Palestinians back in, and then effectively the Jews no longer control Israel. Okay?
Well, I'm sorry, but don't you, isn't the idea of equal rights for all ethnicities something that you, in theory, support?
Tamar said, can't wait for universal health care. 2 surgeries on my meniscus that cost over $3,000 within 6 months. Damn.
As a Democrat?
Well, sure, but the practical result of this is, if you say there should be equal rights within Israel, but if Israel allows it, they cease to exist as a country.
No, they cease to exist as a Jewish ethno-state. That's very different from ceasing to exist as a country.
Oh, come on. Hold on. Stop.
Why is
no, we got to drill down.
An issue for U.S. taxpayers?
We got to drill down on that.
Okay.
All right. They cease to exist as an ethno-state. So basically, Jews would live in Palestine and be governed by the Palestinians, by the Arabs. Okay, and maybe.
So. Who cares? If it's democratic, who cares, right? Because that's what you're saying. You want it democratically elected. So just like if you're not Jewish and you live in Israel and you're governed by Jewish people, that's kind of how democracy works.
That's just what has to happen in the minds of some people, but understand the consequences of it.
Christoph, let Kamala go. We're talking about this. If you can't handle criticism of this administration and you need to go back to the election, then go somewhere else. I mean, this group of people, we criticize who's in power. We don't hypothetically criticize people who aren't in power. And when the Democrats are in power, we'll be happy to criticize them. You should do the same thing.
Understand why Israel was created in the first place, so that the Jews would have some place to go, okay?
Right,
and
but
to just blithely say, well, yeah, it'll go away and it'll be fine. So that's point one.
Nobody said that.
Well, first of all, you're mischaracterizing my position. But
well, what is your
second
position?
Of all,
No,
I
what
think
is your position?
Second of all, you're ignoring that Israel was not created in a land with no people. Land.
No, I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't. No,
there were people there. They were displaced.
Right.
Matt, you trying to fight me on the internet? Grow the fuck up, you dumb bitch. Nobody wants to fight you for your political opinions. You came in here all hot. Stop it. Nobody wants to fight you. This is crazy. You're a grown-up. Stop trying to fight people on the internet.
Very few countries ever
the
were.
Nakba.
Yeah.
There was a dispute over.
All right. Well, we'll just ban you. Go fight somebody somewhere else. Nobody gives a shit about you. I'm gonna fight. I don't like this guy. Tell me where you live. Gotta go, bud. Nobody likes you. You're the kind. Nobody ever wants you around. Like your friends don't want you around. No matter what room you walk into, everybody's like, "Fuck, Matt's here." Nobody wants any of that. Knock it off. Go be a grown up somewhere. Work on yourself. Get some therapy. Get a hug. Get a puppy. I don't know. Don't get a puppy. You're gonna fuck that puppy. But just like do something else.
Over land.
Yes.
And Israel today, which I think is what you were getting to, is an apartheid ethno-state that, and I don't think you use this language, but that is in the process of committing a genocide. So we can, we can debate the Israel of the past and the various historical interpretations of how we got to this place. But I think you're correct when you say we have to deal with the reality of today. And, I would argue that it's not just the Netanyahu government. We can certainly argue that point.
Yeah.
But, we have Jake Sullivan, who just came out and said that he regrets the Biden policy of the bear hug. He thinks they should have done more to restrain Israel. And I'm wondering if you have any regrets, because now you're voting in a somewhat different way, both with the NDAA shift in position, with the Massey Amendment saying, hey, we should blockade. I want to send a message to Netanyahu. At the peak of the Gaza onslaught, you had a complete siege. You had entire neighborhoods that were leveled. They created the largest population of child amputees. Do you have any regrets about your votes during that time period?
I don't, because everyone forgets about October 7th. Everyone forgets about what Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran have done, and their desire is to wipe out the state of Israel and all the Jews living there.
Then why don't they do it? This is the same dumb fucking argument we just heard about, like, Iran wants nukes. Then why don't they ever get nukes? Who got carpet bombed? I'm sorry, was it Israel or Palestine? This is an insane position to take right now. One of them is doing a genocide. One of them is carpet bombing. One isn't. Yeah, well, I know that the ones carpet bombing are doing it, but the other ones want to do it. Isn't that worse? No. No, the ones doing the carpet bombing is worse. If the Palestinians started doing a genocide in Israel, I would support Israel. We're just anti-genocide. This is sidesism. This is like, oh, well, I've already decided to side with Israel. Can you imagine being a human being who's like, well, if we don't genocide them first, they'll genocide us? Have they ever tried? No, they have not tried. Oh.
Is that not? I mean, that's in Hamas's charter, and Hamas is still extant. They're still doing that. I don't like the way Israel decided to defend themselves, but the solution.
Wait, what did he say is in the charter?
I don't, because everyone forgets about October 7th. Everyone forgets about what Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran have done, and their desire is to wipe out the state of Israel and all the Jews living there. Is that not? I mean, that's in Hamas's charter, and Hamas is still extant. They're still doing that.
Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it. While a 2017 updated policy document dropped the explicit call for Israel's destruction, it continues to reject Israel's right to exist and advocates for armed struggle to liberate all of his. Oh, good. Yeah, I agree with that. Israel does not have the right to exist as an ethno-state. Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't like the way Israel decided to defend themselves, but the solution...
Yeah, because they did a genocide. It's not defense. Like, if Israel was hunting down the people who committed the atrocities on October 7th, then you're defending yourself. But if you go and you start murdering innocent people and carpet bombing the Gaza Strip, you're not defending yourself. You're committing murder.
Being proposed is, and this is the consequence of what you're saying, is sorry, we had this idea back in 1948. We were going to give you a state, and that way you could protect yourself against all these attacks. Didn't work out, so go back to Europe. Go wherever. This just isn't going to work anymore.
I think the question,
and I don't think you understand how difficult that is to just go, yeah, I guess that's fine. Because
no, I think the question, let me, and this is not, this is my perspective, but I think this is also what the Democratic Party base in particular, and most of the country view at this point, is why should our tax dollars, given all the things in the world and all the things in our country,
that's why I voted for the Massey Amendment.
That could be, spent in much more effective ways.
Exactly.
Why should that be going?
It shouldn't.
Seeking for Hope said, finishing off that goal, thank you. Big W for Seeking for Hope, finishing off the goal, said, I can't bear the thought of Jen crying. Love yous.
Prop up an ethno-state that is an apartheid state, and I wonder if you agree with that characterization, that has been committing, if you don't want to say genocide, certainly war crimes with that tax money.
But that's fine. Yeah. Look, no, that's why I voted for the Massey Amendment. I don't think we should be sending that money over there. But look, I have concerns about Hamas, about Hezbollah, that people don't seem to share.
Because we don't fund Hamas or Hezbollah. So we're talking about the funding, like our role in this, right? Should we fund a genocidal state? No. Should we fund Hamas and Hezbollah? Also no. See how easy that is? That's consistency. I don't like that the people I support are getting criticism. Well, we're not funding Hamas. Well, I mean, we say we're not funding Hamas and Hezbollah like we have in the past, but yeah, there's a difference. One of them we're funding.
Let's say that this plays out the way you described.
How can you both believe Israel should be a country, but then say they should just not as an ethno? What do you mean? Israel could be a country and not an ethno state. Lots of countries aren't ethno states. Maybe I don't understand your question. You're saying Israel cannot exist without having like Israel can't exist with equality, not based on ethnicity? I mean, of course they can exist, but not as an ethno-state. That's how we want them to exist. Yeah, Brent. Like, if Israel can't exist without being an apartheid state, it should not exist. I don't know if I didn't understand that, Josh, or not. Maybe I'm misreading what you're saying. I mean, Israel's founded as an ethno-state. Yeah, they shouldn't. You have to disband the entire state and give back? No, you can just alter the Constitution. You can use... America should use our massive influence with Israel and the threat of pulling funding and protection from them to make them stop being an apartheid state. And if they decline to do that, we don't fund them anymore. We're not allies with them anymore. I mean, we can't force them without using military action, and I wouldn't be on board with that either. But they don't get our support and also act as an apartheid state. I say give Israel back to Palestinians and make the country Israel, Palestine. I mean, whatever the solution is, there's a lot of different solutions that could work, depending on what you can get people to agree on. But like the one solution I don't think we should accept is an apartheid state.
And okay, there is no Jewish ethno-state, and the consequence of that is there is no Jewish state.
I mean, he's even admitting like that it's an ethno-state. I don't think people who understand this conflict think it's not an ethno-state.
Basically,
they wouldn't have been a majority. This is why they did the Nakba. Yeah, exactly. If you can't be the majority, you don't get to. Yeah. That's what they did in South Africa too, right? We won't be able to control everything. Yeah, exactly.
Have the Palestinians, as they would now be governing that area, and that means Hamas would be governing that area. Do you have any problem with that? Do you have any problem with Hamas suddenly becoming a much more powerful entity and having the country, from the river to the sea, if you will now be a Hamas-run state on the Mediterranean? Are you okay with that?
First of all,
yes. I mean, I don't like most of these governments. Hamas running a government would be worse than Israel? Like, that's worse than Netanyahu? I don't think so.
I'm not convinced that would be the reality.
Well, how would it not be the reality?
I don't know how you can get away from how illiberal it is to not support equal rights for people regardless of if they're Jewish, Arab, Muslim, Christian,
totally with
etc.
you. Look,
and then the other piece is,
but
I mean,
Hamas
listen,
doesn't support equal rights either.
But do you support a two-state solution? Is that your idea?
Look,
that's a good point. There's no evidence that the Palestinians would continue to vote for Hamas, but if they did, that would be democracy. That would be their choice, right?
Yes.
So how do we get there? How do we get there? No, but this
is stop.
Hold on.
I can answer this
How
for
do we
you.
get there at a time?
No, hold
when
on.
you have settlements that have made it effectively impossible.
There's something I have to explain before all of this makes sense.
I have to tell a story first. She's kudos to Crystal Ball for keeping her cool. This is pretty hysterical.
In order to create a Palestinian state.
Look, let's go back to what you said. I support a two-state solution. I am also aware of the fact that it's probably no longer possible. You didn't let me.
Good point, Maplebrook. Hamas doesn't want a two-state solution. I agree. I don't think either of them really want a two-state solution.
Get that part out. Okay, which is really kind of important to this whole conversation.
I would agree. Yeah.
And it's very disappointing. I mean, and there's a lot of blame to go around for why we got there. Yes, I would like to see a two-state solution. I am not naive, as you just described, to know that it's simply not on the table at this point. And that creates a massive, massive problem. But the idea, again, that the easy solution is, okay, we get rid of the Jewish ethno-state, and the details of how Israel is currently running, their country. There are Arabs in the parliament, but there are parts of it that aren't. Okay, so we get rid of that.
Okay.
So what's your idea for what replaces that? You say you're not convinced that it would be a Hamas-run thing.
Well, I've offered that. Listen, I really honestly think that this is something for Palestinians and Israelis to decide. I don't know why it is the American taxpayers' business to fund this.
And again, that's why I voted for the Massey Amendment.
But what is actually your idea? Because if you're saying, you don't support a one-state solution, you don't support a two-state solution. There is no good solution. That's where you are. That is the reality of where we are now.
Right. And I'm
no good solution.
And I'm open.
Okay, so then the solution shouldn't be continue funding them until they come up with a solution. Continue funding genocide until they come up with a solution. Continue allowing Israel to just drag us into war until they come up with a solution. The solution is make them figure it out on their own. Pull the funding. If they can't come to an agreement, that's not our responsibility. But I would like to think that we can help. I would like to think that we could use our influence. But what we don't need to do is fund one side of it. That's an easy one. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. All right. That's it for me today. Jen, did I miss any? She might be busy, guys.
Shut up. I'm still here. Let me double check. Yep, that's it on mine.
Fuck you for playing Adam Smith at the end. That's true. That's my bad. All right, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow morning and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. to 1 Pacific Standard Time right here, wherever you were watching today. Go outside with the rest of your day if you can and touch grass. If you can't touch grass, smoke grass. Maybe do both of them. And if you can't do both of them or one of them, good luck to you. Go ahead and reach down, grab your bootstraps, pull yourself up, buy those bootstraps, and get those boots out on the street. Do something useful. But before you go out, look in the mirror, say something nice to yourself, and drink lots of water. Drink some water before you go. Take some water with you. It's important to stay hydrated. But most importantly, love yourself. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow morning bright and early. Take care of yourselves. Stay cute and cool, and have a great summer.
Bye.